And we say good morning to you. We're broadcasting live on the road again after a day off. Back at it. And thank you for being with us wherever you may be again on this Wednesday, September the 6th, show number 1922 on our way to 2000. Couple of birthdays today. Joanne Worley, remember her from Laugh-In fame? She's having a birthday, 87. The Mysterious Rhinestone Cowboy, David Allen Coe, having a birthday, 84 today. Comedian Jane Curtin, remember her from Saturday Night Live? Jane Curtin, she is 76. Jeff Foxworthy having a birthday, 65. And Mark Chestnut, country music singer, having a birthday. He is 60. Those are the birthdays again on this Wednesday, September the 6th. We're loaded up. George going to join us. Doug Fritz going to join us. Greg Sires going to join us. Sean Witten's going to join us. We got him loaded for bear. And a lot of sports to throw in there. Lots going on. College football. Clemson. Whoa. Whoa. What happened to the Clemson Tigers? Tennessee's top 10 in the country now, which I kind of figured they would. Florida State showed me something on Sunday night. Wow. They put the hammer to LSU, muscled them around, outplayed them. I think they got out-coached to a point, but certainly got outplayed. So we'll talk all about that coming up. We got Major League Baseball, the pennant races, winding down here in the month of September. Got some great ball games from yesterday we'll tell you all about. So all that coming up. Stay with us. We're here live again at Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton, the home of the new milkshake, the caramel crumble milkshake, and the honey pepper pimento sandwich. That's the two new entrees on the menu board here at Chick-fil-A in Elizabeth. The national anthem time. Here we go. Who we're going to pull this time? Why not? How about we pull the Kingdom Bears out of Dollywood, gracious enough to do it for us. Here they are on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. The national anthem. They'll do the verse of the day and get going with our first guest, George Gwynn's in the house here on the Tom Taylor Sports.
1, 2. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And back at the Tom Taylor Sports Show, here's the verse today. We always dedicate our show to the man who hung on the cross. We unashamedly do that. And it is out of the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 40, 28, 29 says, do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. Oh, ain't that the truth? He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Isaiah 40, 28, 29. Thanks to Carrie Taylor, who put that up there for us. She is my, what are you now? What do you call yourself? Marketing guru or whatever? Yeah. And I appreciate her very much. Her last name's Taylor. We can, well, she's a sister in Christ, but by relation, no. But I appreciate her and Jason Bunches and Tucker Taylor. So we are live here. We'll take a quick break. We're going to get George in here. We got Doug here. Doug's chomping. George is chomping. So we got our first two guests here, and they'll join us after this break right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're live at Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're talking to Joseph Taylor, one of our great sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports. And what's going on at Ivy Hall Nursing Home?
Ivy Hall, we would love to have short-term rehab patients. If you go in for knee surgery, shoulder surgery, stuff like that, you need a little bit of rehab, please consider Ivy Hall. We have private rooms for our short-term rehab patients. We offer physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, full-time respiratory therapy. We'd love to take care of you.
Looking for help? Looking for folks to work here?
Absolutely, 100%. If you want to come in, if you're a CNA, LPN, RN, you want to work in dietary, laundry, housekeeping, we would love to have you. You can go to ivyhallnursinghome.com and fill out an application. Somebody will certainly call you back if you put in an application.
Yep. So all these different folks, you take care of these different therapy programs, right?
Absolutely. We love the short-term patients. We love the long-term patients. Either one, we want to take care of anybody that comes our way, for sure.
Social media?
Social media, Ivy Hall Nursing Home on Facebook, and like I said, ivyhallnursinghome.com.
There you go. One of our great sponsors, folks. Love promoting them. Again, the great folks here in Elizabethton, sponsor of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports, Ivy Hall Nursing Home. Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show. What all do you have here at the Jewelers Bench?
So we carry an assortment of items. We've got Watchwise, G-Shock, Bearing, Citizens, Pearl-Wise. We do Imperial Pearl. I get some from a company called AGI, really great company. Diamonds, we do all kinds from Shaw Diamonds. We have lab-grown diamonds, Pandora. Do carry classic imports, which is sterling silver items, and then sterling reputation, that's sterling silver items. PRO is sterling silver, diamond, 14 karat yellow gold. Spotto watch bands, stuff from Equity Diamonds, just a wider range.
Jewelry repair, do a lot of that, of course. And jewelry cleaning, all that available here again as we are here at the Jewelers Bench. And so social media, how do we find you?
So Facebook and Instagram, and then website is jewelersbenchtn.com.
One of our great sponsors, Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show, the great folks at the Jewelers Bench. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, first guest out of the chute, the Container Man's in the house. How about that? Is that
that's pretty neat, Tom.
Yeah, I like that. The Container Man. And so George got a business. He's one of our new sponsors. We love that. We appreciate it very much. And we're going to get into the Container Man here in a second. Tell us about the tailgating. Is it tomorrow? Everybody can come out and get some free food?
Well, it's tomorrow starting. Food's going to start about 4:30 at the Elizabethton High School course there. And it'll be basically if you walk through the parking lot and if you're going into the gym from the parking lot, there's going to be the Taco 51 truck's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Brad's bringing some great food. We're going to have tables set up with plenty of food for everybody to enjoy, as well as drinks and some sweet tea and whatnot. And the whole reason behind doing this, number one, Container Man is sponsoring it, but the biggest reason to do that is to get people out and excited about Elizabethton girls volleyball. My daughter plays. I have been consumed with this sport now for years.
Yeah.
And follow it. Of course, we do travel ball and all that, nights, weekends, whatever, but it's so much fun. It's so exciting to watch. Now, I played football at Elizabethton. Elizabethton will always be a football town. That being said, we want to bring the fans out to eat a good meal and enjoy the excitement of volleyball. Greenville's coming to town. I don't know anybody in Elizabethton that really doesn't love to beat Greenville. And the more fans we got there, the greater chance our girls will, the fans can get behind them and hopefully get a victory.
Yeah, it's tomorrow night. First 150 people, free dinner. Again, it'll be right outside the gym, correct?
Right outside the gym.
Yeah. So
and hopefully everybody can stand around, fellowship, break bread
Sure.
together, have a good time.
break bread. It is a great sport. If you watch my stream, we're going to be streaming them twice next week. If you watch the stream, you'll know pretty quick I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't either. I still don't understand
No,
all the rules.
I don't get it. I just know
but I do enjoy yelling at the refs
Absolutely.
when necessary.
And I will say this: it's the sport I think can change that quick, probably quicker than
Yes,
anything else. You
yes.
think you got it going, and one bad hit, one miscue, and the whole momentum of the game or the match changes like that. And I've always found that very fascinating. So.
And it's so intriguing to me because when they get what I call a long volley going,
Mm-hmm.
you are literally on the edge of your seat waiting on to see what's going to happen, who's going to get the points.
Yeah.
It's so exciting to come watch.
Absolutely. And so they're playing tomorrow night, and they're also playing tonight. They've got Tennessee High tonight. It's church nights. We can't do it. And then tomorrow night, Greenville.
And I want to interrupt briefly. Tennessee High requested, for some reason, this game was scheduled on Tuesday.
Yeah.
They requested that it be rescheduled, so there must be a significant reason for that.
Yep.
Because I'm like you, I'd rather not have games on Wednesday when possible.
Yeah, you got it. So we won't be there tonight. Tomorrow night, we've got T.A. Duggar football. But now next week, got two big ones in the conference. Unicoi County and Easter coming next week. So we're streaming the next Tuesday and Thursday, if I remember correctly. So
And the great thing is, and you've had our new first-year coach, Carly, on. She is bringing this team together, that they're coming together and they are improving every week.
Mm-hmm.
So I truly believe the second half of our season is going to be much better than the first half.
oh,
has
absolutely. And it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
been. Absolutely.
And so you roll into the tournament, which will be in Elizabeth in October. It's anybody's tournament.
And see, that's another good reason. They can a person that's never been to a high school volleyball game can come out tonight, get a feel for it, and then come out and support us during the tournaments.
Yeah.
That's when we really need to pack that gym and,
Yeah.
and show off our Cyclone pride.
You got it. Now, he is the container man. We drop it, you load it, and he hauls it away. Tell us about it.
Well, as most people know, my son has a very successful construction company. They do quite a bit of demolition and excavation. And at some point along the way, we realized that we could be way more efficient if we bought these waste containers. Purchased a few, and next thing you know, the phone started ringing from my landlord buddies. Hey, I kicked this guy left. The house is full of junk. Can you send me a container? Well, look up one day, and we're basically doing more for out in the community than we're actually doing for ourselves. And of course, we still use them ourselves quite a bit. But we decided to start offering these services to the public, not just a few of my buddies like Rob Stout, for example, that has quite a few rentals. So we, now we basically cover the entire Tri-Cities. A friend of mine this morning said, container man coming soon to a location near you, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, we Johnson City, Bristol, Kingsport, Irwin, Mountain City. We got 2 containers in Mountain City right now. So we are all over. We got 2 drivers, 2 trucks. They get up every day, work hard, grab these containers, take them to the landfill, dump them, and try to get them back if you need it back or on to the next site. So hopefully it's a good thing for the customer as well as for us.
The website is containerman.com, containermantn.com, and the phone number to call to get more information is 431-9267, 431-9267. Been at it 2 years. You've dropped them in Kingsport, Gate City, Johnson City, Irwin, Jonesboro, Bristol, Elizabethton, Tri-Cities proper. You're the exclusive container for Milligan, right?
We are very proud of that, and we do. When they have their beginning of semester as well as the end of the semester, when students are, moving out, throwing away a mattress or whatever, we're proud to serve the Milligan community there and Milligan College and take the containers to them.
Mountain City, Butler, Roan Mountain, all over the Tri-Cities, folks. 431-9267. Check him out at containermantn.com. I love it. We drop it, you load it, we haul it away. Pretty simple.
Easy, yeah. Yep.
Pretty simple. We'll drop it, you load it up, we'll haul it away and get it out of your hair, and you'll be done with it.
And I don't have much hair, so that's good for everybody else. Tom, thanks so much for having me.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you very, very much. Quick break. We'll be right back. Doug Fritz here, talking high school football. There's a new number 1 in 4A football. It ain't Elizabethton, and it ain't Greenville. It's bad English. He'll tell us all about that. The polls are out. We'll talk high school football next on show number 1922 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Tell us what's going on, sir.
We've got some huge savings on Tempur-Pedic. You can save up to $500 off of an individual mattress. If you were to do, a full set with adjustable bases, split kings, you could save all the way up to $1,000.
Adjustable base. What's that mean?
It's the best way to sleep, to improve your overall health. It will raise your head, raise your feet. It also puts you in a recline position to just help you get more comfortable so you don't toss and turn through the night, which is, the main goal to get you better sleep. It'll help your breathing, stop your snoring. help better our overall blood circulation.
Through September the 19th, Tempur-Pedic made in Southwest Virginia. What size beds do you have?
We've got everything from twin to Cali King, anything from twin to Cali King.
Yep. From Twin to Cali Kings. All available here. Tempur-Pedic made in Southwest Virginia. The sale through September the 19th. How do we find you on social media?
You can go to our Facebook page, Cannon's Furniture there, and we also have Cannon's Home Furniture.com that you can go, which is our own website.
Here you go. Sale going on, folks. Tempur-Pedic bedding sale made in Southwest Virginia, sold here at Cannon's Furniture, downtown Elizabethton. Proud sponsor of the Tom Daly Sports Show and Cyclone Sports. Be loyal, buy local, buy it at Betsy, and buy it at Cannon's Furniture in downtown Elizabethton. Love it. So outdoor activities, field days, vacation Bible school, ways and reasons. We would want to give you a call, 297-1266, and say, we need trays, we need help. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. We've got nugget trays for, lots of little kids running around, love nuggets. And then if it's a hot day outside, we've got salad trays and wrap trays and fruit trays. Good to cut the heat, especially here as it's getting warmer. So
297-1266. How many different trays do we have?
what did we say? 8?
8.
I think 8.
So we go through them. Nuggets, strips, mac and cheese, fruit.
Salad, wraps. We have sub trays, which are not on the menu normally, but you can get them as a catering item.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one?
Oh, cookies and
brownies.
Cookies and brownies.
Desserts.
There's your 8. There you go.
Yep.
297-1266. If you have a meeting coming up, you need coffee, lemonade, gallons of this, gallons of that. Tell us how you can help us.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a 96-ounce coffee, and then we can do gallons of tea or lemonade, and we can split gallons, do half and half tea. We can do Sunjoys. We can do all that.
Yep. Vacation Bible School. Folks are already starting to plan those, which I love, which means summer's coming. End of the year, outdoor activities, field days, and graduation parties, and everybody's already planning, which is good. And so this can really be your one-stop shop, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We can also do just big orders of sandwiches, so good for just tossing and running.
And breakfast, you also will help folks out for a breakfast meeting too, right?
Yeah, we can do like larger biscuit orders and stuff like that for meetings or for companies or whatever they need.
So the trick is just to call her, 297-1266, and let whoever answers the phone explain what all they can do for you. Just
Absolutely.
that simple. So, and we can never go wrong with coming up Mother's Day and for any other time, a good old Chick-fil-A gift card that works wonders.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Gift cards are easy and a good gift.
Yep. We always talk about it at Christmas, which is understandable, but teachers like them, kids like them, anybody would like a Chick-fil-A gift card.
Absolutely.
And the monetary increment can be from 0 to whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yep.
All right. That's our buddy, Rachel Robinson from Chick-fil-A, one of our great sponsors here on the Tom Daly Sports Show and Elizabeth and Cyclone Sports. Back on the Tom Daly Sports Show, look who stopped by, our buddy Doug Fritz, sports writer, Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How you doing?
Good, thank you. So he's going to get him some lunch here in a few minutes. But first, we're going to talk a little sports, talk a little high school feetball. Polls are out this week. Let me put on my Food City glasses. Hello, Patsy Lyons and Josh Wallen and Reba Whitehead and Carl and Poppy and Javi and the boys. Michael, Mike, thank you, kids, for being with us. So 6A poll, new number 1, Bradley Central jumps over Murfreesboro, Oakland. So it's Bradley Central, Oakland, Brentwood, Germantown, and Maryville. Maryville drops down to number 5. So how did things go last week? Apparently some shakeup in 6A, huh?
Well, Bradley Central again beat Maryville. You know, last year when they beat them, it was the first loss for Maryville to a region team in like 20-some years. So you figure Maryville's going to bounce back, be angry, but Bradley Central beat them again. I'm like a lot of people I see. If you look at the first place votes, I'm stubborn. I try not to have a recency bias. The recency bias would say jump Bradley Central up to number 1, but I didn't do that. I'm sticking with Oakland number 1. You know, Maryville has come down just a tiny notch. They've come back down to the pack just a little bit. I don't think Oakland has. Bradley Central's going to have to prove that they're better than Oakland for me to push them above Oakland.
Here's your top 10. Bradley Central, Murfreesboro, Oakland, Brentwood, Germantown, and Maryville. Then comes Farragut, Riverdale, Mount Juliet, Bartlett, and Bearden. Dobbins gets an honorable mention. So that's your 6A. 5A football, Knox West, hello, they get all but one vote. Knox West actually got 18. Powell got 1 and they're down number 8 in the state. Thought that's interesting. Knox West, Henry County, Nolensville, Munford, Centennial, Page, Oak Ridge, Powell, Beach, and Walker Valley are your top 10 in 5A, and no one from our neck of the woods is in the 5A. What's your take on that one?
Well, just we have a little forum here, so let me just the behind the scenes thing when people vote on these polls, and I've tried for years. I don't know how long I've been voting on basketball and football polls, but 20, 30 years, whatever, and I've tried to say, hey, let's shrink this down. Let's get people who are voting on this, who are going to do their homework, who are going to vote the right way and do things the right way. And when you see somebody voting Powell, number one, you've got a voter, I'm just being honest, that's not doing things the right way. They're 1 and 2. There's no way that they should be ranked above Knoxville West. There's no logic for it. There's no reason for it other than somebody just wants to be contrarian, or maybe they don't care, or whatever it is. But that shouldn't happen. That's not professional.
No.
I'm sorry, it's just not.
They're 1 and 2. They're 8th in the state, and they gave them a first place vote to be number 1 in the state. No. So you're right. Somebody's not doing it the right way. That's your 5A football. 4A, Pearl Cone number 1. They jump over Greenville. Greenville's number 2. Elizabeth the number 3. Upperman, Hardin County, Stone Memorial, Haywood County, Red Bank, Crockett County, and Macon County are your top 10 in the state in 4A. Pearl Cone, the real deal. They're legit.
They are. You know, last year they lost to Cane Ridge in their opener, and Cane Ridge went to the Class 6A quarterfinals. They then lost to NBA in their second game. NBA played for the Division II Class 3A state championship and lost by 4 points.
Oh, really?
Legit. Those were their 2 losses until they got to the state championship game and played Anderson County. That was a 34-30 game, right down to the wire. I watched that game. Pearl Cone looked good. They've got their quarterback back, Keyshawn Tarleton. They've got their number 1 receiver, Darius Reed. They've got their number 1 running back. They got 3 of their top 4 defensive players back. And this year, they beat NBA, and they beat CPA, which is the team that's supposed to win the Division II Class 2A title. CPA beat Brentwood Academy this year. Pearl Cone is legit.
All right. There you go. They're number 1 in the state. Greenville number 2, Elizabeth number 3. Greenville plays the number 1 team in 3A tomorrow night, Alcoa. Alcoa, East Nashville, Dyersburg, Meigs County, Gatlinburg, Pittman, Chuckey Doak. The Black Knights at number 6 in the state. Congratulations. Sequatchie County, Giles County, Covington, and Kingston, with Unicoi County getting an honorable mention statewide, and as is Johnston County. So we got 3 from our neck of the woods in the 3A poll. Alcoa, Greenville tomorrow night. What do you think?
First of all, I love the fact that Greenville's playing Alcoa. Kudos, hats off to Greenville for scheduling that game. I'm of the thinking that Alcoa's proved all they can prove in Class 3A. I think Alcoa should move up to 4A and start playing Greenville, Elizabeth, and Anderson County, Pearl Cone, see if they can still win state championships. I wish they'd do that. Or maybe even Alcoa could move up to 5A, and then they can compete with Knoxville West. They could compete with probably the only team in the state that Alcoa maybe not be able to compete with is Murfreesboro, Oakland, as far as the public schools. Year in, year out. I'm not just talking about this year. I'm talking about this is a program that should move up. So I love the fact that they're playing Greenville. I don't know how that game's going to go. I would think Alcoa is the favorite, but if Greenville beats them, it just adds a little bit of legitimacy to the Class 4A ranks, and it kind of tells you that Alcoa's state championships are basically class-based. But again, I think Alcoa's probably a little bit of a favorite in that game. I just love the fact Greenville's playing them.
They're playing that one in Greenville tomorrow night, Burley Stadium. Alcoa, Greenville, number 1 in the state 3A, number 2 in the state in 4A. Great matchup tomorrow night, Burley Stadium in Greenville. 2A football, number 1 Riverside. Obviously, you see we're talking to Doug Fritz, sports writer, Johnson City Press. Coming up later in the show, Sean Whitten joins us, head football coach of the Cyclones. Riverside, Milan, East Robertson, York Institute, Marion County, the top 5. Then comes Lewis County, Smith County, Huntington, Fairleigh, and Mount Pleasant. Hampton and South Green are ranked in the honorable mention this week in 2A football. What's your take on 2A?
I think it's good. I think it's really, really tight up there. I think Riverside, Milan, there's a spread out of there of some first place votes, and I think that's because I don't think there's a dominant team in that classification that everybody's saying, oh, watch out for this team. So you get spread out the votes a little bit there as far as number one, and I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think Hampton, South Green could figure into the mix there. As we get along through the season, Hampton started out with a real tough schedule, so I believe they're 1-2, but they're still a team to be reckoned with.
In single A, South Pittsburgh number one in the state again this week. Then comes Dresden, Coalfield, McKenzie, Moore County, your top five. Whitwell, Memphis, ASE, Union City, Sail Creek, and Cloudland. Highlanders in at number 10 in the state. Congratulations. So we've got some pretty good local representation this week in the polls.
Yeah, it's good to see Cloudland pop back up in there, and they're off to a strong start. Their one loss was a dog fight against West Green, Class 2A team, and South Pittsburgh's got that tradition. They're always up there. Dresden's very good this season. They whipped McKenzie. That's a pretty good representative ranking there in the Class 1A.
Let's take a look at some games for for Friday night around the region. 6A, Dobbins Minard at Jeff County. Both honorable mentions this week in 6A. Big football game in Region 1 6A. The two leaders are going to clash in Dumpling Valley Friday night. Who do you like?
I like DB. I've seen Jeff County, haven't seen DB. I like DB. But I tell you, the team that's really got their eyes on that game, the team that really wants to see DB win, oddly enough, is Science Hill. Because if Jeff County wins, they've beaten DB and Science Hill. There's really nobody else in the conference that Westridge might give them a game. I don't know, but Jeff County's looking at running the table. But if DB wins, then that brings Science Hill back into that picture when they play DB in the last week, assuming Science Hill can take care of business up until that point. But I like DB just because I feel like their offense is a little more explosive. Science Hill should have beaten Jeff County last week. They cost themselves 2 touchdowns in the first half with just 2 really bad penalties that should have never happened. One was 10, 15 yards behind the guy running 99 yards for a touchdown on the kickoff return. Just one of those things where you're like, oh my goodness, why are you even trying to block somebody there?
Wow.
So they lost 2 first half touchdowns, wound up losing the game by 4 points. They were even. Science Hill, Jeff County, I think Science Hill, you could say they're 50-50. Jeff County won the game, so give them credit for that, but Science Hill should have won.
Science Hill goes to Union, Virginia Friday night, non-conference game. Who wins that one?
I think Science Hill better win that one. Union's a smaller school, but I'm telling you, Union's got a good team. I was talking to Tanner Cook about them. They've got some talent on that team. It's a big deal to them. They're playing a big school at home. The whole community's going to come out. It's going to be a fun game, and Science Hill needs that win. They've got to get this thing on track. They've got to cut out some of these mistakes. But I think I'd pick Science Hill, but I also understand Southwest Virginia football, and I think Union can beat them.
We saw them. We streamed the scrimmage. They came over scrimmage to Elizabeth earlier in the year, and Cyclones beat them. Let's see, what was it? 28-7, 1-1. No, that's wrong. That was the Westridge game. 21-7. Number one's against number one. So, but they're big and they're physical, and they'll give Science Hill a problem over at their place. And you're right. I don't think Science Hill wants to come back John City 1-3.
No, I mean they've got to start building some momentum. I mean the season after that game, the season's 1 game away from being regular season being half over. Yeah, you got to get some momentum started, and they need that this week.
5A, Daniel Boone and Morristown West, Battle of Unbeaten's coming up Friday night down in Morristown. We were there. We saw them. They can play. Still go back to their nose man, Giovanni. Giovanni just went totally blank. I want to say Cortez. That's not right. It'll come to me in a minute. Giovanni, the nose man, a bad dude. He can play. It's a good football team. Be a good game.
Yeah, and I think Boone has got a lot of momentum coming off the win over Crockett, but this is a challenge for them. I mean, they've got to go down there and play well. It's kind of a similar situation to Jeff County there in the 6A because, if Morristown West beats Boone, they'll have a win over Boone and Tennessee High and a clear path to run the table in that league. So, it'll be interesting to see if Boone can stay in the hunt. If they don't, I think it's Morristown West league.
Crockett has the week off. We know what's going on there. We've had the hazing incident that's happening at Crockett on the football team, which is very unfortunate. What are you hearing? What's the latest?
I haven't heard anything about any further discipline or I'm sure they're trying to make sure they cover all bases. There's a lawsuit that Daniel Boone's dealing with from what happened last year. So you think about that, that's a year ago, and they're still dealing with the lawsuit. So who knows what's going to come out of this thing at Crockett. But I would just one thing I would like to say, not that anybody's going to listen to me, but I'll try, to the young people, student athletes in particular, there's just the world today has changed. You're in a different world even from what you were in 5 years ago, and there are just certain things that no matter, you may think it's funny, you may be doing it for a joke, but the world's not going to look at it that way. So you got to adjust your behavior if you want to keep playing sports, because it can be taken away from you. You got to use. I know that these kids, their minds are developing, which is why it's important for them to understand you got to act differently if you're a student athlete. You got to toe the line. Playing sports is a privilege, and you can't hijinks and stuff. You just got to be careful about how far you go with that stuff.
Well put, my friend. Well said. Nothing else I can add to it. 4A football, Volunteer at Northview Academy. Volunteer at 0-3, Northview Academy at 3-0. It's a big regional game. Who wins that one?
Well, I tell you, Volunteers been through the gauntlet here early. They've had a really tough schedule, and I think this is another one. I think Northview, beat Unicoi County in a close game, and they're off to a 3-0 start, and I think they're a pretty good football team. I think it's going to be tough for Volunteer. I think Northview will catch them, but maybe Volunteer, once their schedule eases up a little bit, they can get back on track.
2A game, regional game, Happy Valley. The Warriors travel to Hampton to battle the Bulldogs. Hampton 1-2, Happy Valley 0-2. Regional opener, who wins that one?
Well, I think Hampton does. Happy Valley's had trouble scoring against Hampton in recent years. They just haven't been able to get any points. So I think if Happy Valley's going to have a shot, they need to score early. They need to find a way somehow to get some points on the board early in that game and say, hey, we can do this, or else it could be another runaway for Hampton.
Regional opener in 1A, Cosby will be up Stony Creek to battle the Unaka Rangers. Who wins that one Friday night?
I think Unaka's wore them out the last 2 years. I realize this is a different Unaka team. They've got, different personnel and stuff, but they've really had Cosby's number the past couple of years, so hopefully they can continue that on and have another good game on Friday night.
You look at some non-conference game, Westridge, the Wolves go to Lakeway Christian.
Yeah, that's tough. Well, it's always in my mind when a public school team goes and plays a private school team, I always think, well, that's going to be really tough because they're going to have a few more athletes and stuff. We'll see. I mean, I think it's a game Westridge can win. I think if they control the line of scrimmage, I think they will win. But it's also going to be a battle to do that.
Unicoi County travels to Sullivan East. Unicoi County at 2-1. Sullivan East on the season at 2-1. Good matchup in Bluff City. Who wins that one?
I think I'm going to go with Sullivan East. And here's one. Here, I'll give you a quiz question here, Tom. Where does Drake Fisher rank in the nation for passing yards? If you were just throwing a dart, where do you think he ranks in the nation for total passing yards through 3 games?
7th.
Oh. Seriously?
Yeah.
Did you just pull that out of the air?
Yeah.
That's right.
Is it really?
He's number 7.
Wow.
How'd you do that? Now they're going to think we planned this for him.
No.
Did not happen. He
no
pulled
clue.
that number out. He's number 7. And I went, that's total yards. I went and checked. There's some guys behind him that only played 2 games. So I went down there and found those guys. He actually ranks number 7 in terms of yards per game, too. So he's a legitimate top 10 in the nation in passing. He's a tremendous talent. Tyler Cross is ranked, I think Tyler Cross may be number 1 in the state in receiving and
Wow.
top 20 in the nation. So they're off to a tremendous start. I'm interested to see them this week and see how that comes. But Unicoi County's got a good defense. They're going to be challenged, though.
2 more to talk about. We'll jump in and talk a little soccer. South Green at Chucky Doak. South Green at 2-0. Chucky Doak at 3-0. It's a non-conference game, but a battle of unbeatens, and that should be a whammer jammer down in Chucky Friday night. Who wins it?
Yeah, and Chucky Doak, I think, has exceeded some people's expectations, maybe exceeded mine to this point, and they're 3-0, and so I think they go into this game as a favorite, but that's a good county rivalry. South Green's always tough and always good. Chucky Doak wore West Green out last week, so I think they got a pretty good football team, and they're making some noise there in the Class 3A ranks.
Last one to look at, 3A Johnson County and Single A Cloudland. And Cloudland will go to Johnson County Friday night to battle the Longhorns. How do you like that one?
Well, you tell me which mountain team is going to be tougher, and that'll be the team that wins. And I honestly don't know. I think they're both really tough. I think Johnson County's wanting to reestablish that toughness that they've had from years past. And I think that's one of the better matchups of the week. I think just in terms of just a tough physical battle. Johnson County's going to throw it around some. Cloudland will not throw it around some, so it's going to be pass first run. It'll be interesting to see how that comes out.
Soccer. Westridge beat Daniel Boone 2-1. Elizabethton shuts out Volunteers 7-0 last night. Tennessee High beat East 8-0. Crockett over Unicoi County 5-0. Chucky Doak 2-1 win over University Heights, the ones we've got. And Pigeon Forge beat the Knoxville Ambassadors 4-0. Big one tonight. Dobbins Bennett playing at Daniel Boone in high school soccer. So what's the soccer season looking like right now, big guy?
Well, Dobbins Bennett at Science Hill kind of going back and forth. I had a feature in today's paper, both the Times News and the Press, on London Taylor. It's a midfielder for Dobbins Bennett. They've had a good start. They're 5-3, played a tough schedule. One of their losses was to Science Hill, a team they haven't beaten in a long time. I think those two teams are they're kind of trying to separate themselves from the pack, and this is kind of the game. DB and Boone. DB needs to take care of business there, because you can't focus on Science Hill obviously when you're playing somebody else, but that's the wall that they got to break through this year and finally beat them for the first time in many years.
Volleyball last night, it was Johnson County beating Holston, Virginia 3-1. You had Crockett over East 3-2, and Science Hill beat Westridge 3-1. You got 3 tonight, some good ones too. Tennessee High beat Elizabeth. That's a game scheduled from last night, moved to tonight. Folks have asked if we're streaming it to church night, so no, we won't. Sullivan East at Crockett, and Gate City, Virginia at Volunteer tonight in girls high school volleyball. So, gosh, they're in the heat of the season already too, just like everybody else.
Well, they are, and this, we talked about football getting close to the halfway point. How crazy is that, And volleyball and soccer both, and before you know it, they're going to be in the tournaments and full steam ahead for the state tournament. The fall season to me, basketball season seems long to me. The fall sports season just seems like it starts and it's done. I mean, it just goes fast. And maybe that's because football's there and each week we're focusing on football, but it goes fast.
T.A. Duggar football tomorrow night. They're undefeated. They've outscored their opponents 126-6. Yep, 126-6. And so they'll take on Sullivan Heights tomorrow night. We'll go on there at 5:10. Kickoff at 5:30. We'll have Andrew McKeon, El Presidente at Carter County Bank, helping us call the game. So T.A. Duggar football tomorrow night. And Friday night, Cyclones will travel to Cherokee to battle the Chiefs. You're telling me off air the Chiefs aren't that bad of a team, is what you told me?
Well, I saw them against Crockett in the this is week 2 in the first half of the game. Cherokee was running their offense, and it seemed like they'd hand the ball off, and 4 guys from Crockett would be in the backfield, and I just thought, man, what are they doing on the offensive line? And then the second half, all of a sudden, they started blocking and opening up holes, and they moved the football. Their quarterback's a sophomore. He's got some potential. They've got a good little running back that's tough and can get some yardage. Their defense is okay. I just think Cherokee is an okay football team. Can they match up with Elizabethton? Probably not. But I don't think that, even though, and maybe they had some injuries. I don't know what happened to them last week, but I think they're okay. They've got some kids that can play.
Let's take a look before I let you go. The players of the week. The 1-star player of the week from Johnson City Press, Caleb Holzer from right here in Elizabethton. Cyclone, 3 touchdowns, 90 yards rushing. We beat Granger 65-14. Your 2-star player of the week, Connor Simcox of Johnson County, 205 yards and a couple of touchdowns. They beat Claiborne 30-0. So what's your story on Connor Simcox? You had a chance to see him play?
I haven't seen him recently, but he's a big kid, about 6'5", I think, and he can throw it around the field. And he's a good quarterback. He's a very good high school quarterback.
The 3-star player of the week, Aiden Reiner from Daniel Boone, 148 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the Musket Bowl beating Crockett 35-0. 35-zip, but let's face it, a lot of their kids didn't play down at Crockett for the hazing, so you didn't get a real true test. So I guess you can put an asterisk by it, and the Boone fans will say, no, we beat him fair and square 35-zip, and you did. But a lot of the Crockett kids want to understand weren't playing because of the hazing and what they're going through the investigation, whatever you want to call it. So not a true test for Crockett. But Aiden Reiner still got 3 touchdowns, 148 yards. He's the 3-star player of the week.
Yeah, and he did well. And you got to give Boone credit for taking care of business there. And Crockett not only had players out, they had players at key positions out, including quarterback. And so they, it was tough for them. And I'm sure they played hard, did the best they could. But Reiner was probably going to do that. 148 yards. I don't know if he got 3 touchdowns or not, but he was probably going to get good yardage, even if Crockett had their full complement of players. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
Whether he would have scored 3 times, I don't know, but he probably would have gotten 100 yards, and I think it would have been obviously a much closer game. But give him credit and give Boone credit for taking care of business. And you go out there and play. It's competition. They've got kids lining up. You can't take it easy on them. You got to go play.
Coming up top of the hour, we'll talk to Greg Sire, talking Major League Baseball, and Coach Whitten joins us at the bottom of the hour, the next hour. We're here live at Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton on this beautiful Wednesday. A little cloud cover, not as hot as it normally is, so it's very nice. Got some rain coming, which we need. It's hard to believe we need rain, but we need rain. It's getting dry out there. 4-star player of the week, Tyler Cross, Sullivan East. Again, 4 catches, 158 yards, and a touchdown. So this kid's in the national stats. Is that correct? And the state stats.
He's not getting I don't think he's getting a huge amount of catches. In fact, I think he's second on this team in catches, but he's getting a ton of yards. I mean, he's making big plays. And obviously Fisher's finding ways to get the ball to him, and he's taking advantage of it.
Cyclones will see Sullivan East in a couple of weeks. Let's see, next week Daniel Boone, the home opener, and then we go to East. So in 2 weeks we'll see Sullivan East in Bluff City. 5-star player of the week. What's his last name, Doug?
Tylen Taylor.
Yeah. Let's go with Tylen because he's a whole lot better than I am. So, 10 catches, 164 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the win over Westridge. So only a junior, Tylen, Tylen, Tylen Taylor from Dobbins Minute, the 5-star player of the week. And so 1-star Caleb Holzer from here in Elizabethton, 2-star Connor Simcox, Johnson County, 3-star Aiden Reiner, Daniel Boone, 4-star Tyler Cross, Sullivan East, and the 5-star player of the week, Tylen Taylor from DB. And so that's a look at what's going on there. Did you get a chance to watch the Florida State LSU game the other night?
I did not. I didn't get a chance to take it in. Sometimes it's hard for me to get a lot of college football, especially early in the season, and especially since my cable company decided I don't get ESPN anymore.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
The Charter and Disney are going head to head. Disney wants to charge Charter extra money. Charter doesn't want to pay it. Charter says that they're bargaining in good faith, but Disney said that they offered to let people continue to have ESPN and other networks while they're negotiating, and Charter said no. So who's telling the truth there, I don't know. But there's 15 million subscribers in the country that are without ESPN right now. ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, ACC Network, SEC. I mean, it's just, I taped the Virginia Tech game Saturday night, and I turned it on. I get this message, sorry, you don't get this channel. Well, really? So it's a mess, and it's a lot. They're going to lose customers.
Oh,
I mean, I'm giving some consideration to dropping them too. I've been a customer of theirs for a quarter century or more. But I mean, you can't take ESPN away from people and expect them to be, because I mean that's basically, I pay for from my standpoint, I pay for ESPN, NFL Red Zone, and then just a handful of other channels.
Yeah.
So,
where would you go?
Sling, Hulu. I don't think I'm not sure if it's available on YouTube TV or not, but probably Sling. And from what I understand, their prices are good. So if anybody's like trying to do an end around on this, which I tried everything I could think of to get that Virginia Tech game on, ESPN Plus was blocked. I mean, everything was blocked. I couldn't get it on. But from what I've been told, Sling and Hulu are possible end arounds here if you want to get rid of Charter or whatever. And I don't want to see anybody's business go bad, but they're not doing good business right now when they're just saying, hey, and nobody gave me the chance and said, do you want to pay more for ESPN? Mm-hmm. They didn't ask the customers that. They just said, oh, we're trying to take care of you. Well, that's not how you take care of a customer. You give them the option. I
was told if you call there and complain, they'll give you $15 off your next bill. And I thought, that'll give you $15 off every day.
Well, they will give you $15 off the next bill. But if you call and try and cancel, because yesterday I was fed up and I said, well, I'm going to talk to them about canceling. So I called went through the prompts to get to canceling. You know what happened? I'm sorry, we don't have anybody available for that. Please try again later. So you can't even get through. And then I talked to another thing that said, well, it's a 2 or 3 hour hold. And I said, well, give me the option of going on a 2 or 3 hold. Don't just cut me off and tell me I can't talk to anybody. So they're engaging in bad business practice, in my humble opinion, right now. And they're going to lose a lot of customers, and that's the way it is.
Well, it is. Consequences for your choices.
Yep.
I used to get told to walk into the bedroom, and he got that belt down. It's like consequences for your choices. So same with Charter. They lose a bunch of customers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on them, I guess.
Well, and I read too that ESPN, I can't remember the exact number, but according to Nielsen ratings, when people are watching, this is not everybody, but like 71% or some incredible number like that of their viewership was watching that channel. This is a huge. ESPN's not just a minor thing. I mean, this is some people who like sports watch ESPN 70% of the time or more. So I mean, you take that away, it's like, well, I don't want to keep paying you for all this other stuff when you're taking away the one I want to watch the most. So
makes sense. Are you hungry?
I have officially arrived at hungry.
He's on the doorstep of hungry. Thank you as always,
Tom.
sir.
Appreciate it.
Love him. He's a good man. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll talk Major League Baseball. He's here. Greg Sire next after this from Big John's Closeouts on the Tom Taylor Sports House. Replacement windows. Tell us about that, sir, would you please?
Well, we live in a community where we've still got a number of homes that have been built quite a few years, some of them going back into the 60s, 70s, and even before, that have a lot of single pane type windows or older wood windows, or even some of the metal windows that Patty's and a lot of places used to sell that were just an aluminum thin type window. And they have got hard to open. They generate a lot of heat loss because they're not that heavily insulated. Sometimes they're in need of major maintenance because they've deteriorated through the time and weather has went on. And with replacement windows, you can pretty much get those in about any size you want. Within every quarter of an inch, you can order them either in width and height. And so you can remove the old windows and put these new windows in without having to do a lot of structural work either outside or inside. And so that's one of the benefits of it. Also, they're very low maintenance. They're vinyl windows, so they're very easy to clean. You have very little maintenance and upkeep to them. And they come with a variety of options that you can get. You can get just regular insulated glass. If you are more energy conscious, you can get a low E glass, and that's especially helpful when you've got windows that are exposed to a lot of the elements, hot sun, stuff of that nature during the summer and the heating months, and argon gas that can also be added to the low E that just sort of adds a benefit to it to cut down on both heat gain and heat loss depending on the time of year that you've got. And you're available with either white or beige color, and you can get grids in between the glass if you like those windows that look like that they're broke up in 6 panes, 8 panes, whatever it may be as far as that goes. You can also get a half screen that will move up and down if you are concerned about raising the bottom window, maybe with a smaller child or something. You can leave the bottom window down, lower the top window, and move the screen up there so you can get airflow during the spring and fall time of the year. And these windows tilt in, so it's easy for the homemaker or whoever is going to be doing some cleaning. You can lower the window, tilt the latches, tilt it in, clean it off on the outside, put it back up. And you can do the same thing for the bottom sash. So it makes it easy, especially when you're dealing with second floors and stuff of that nature where they're hard to get to.
All available at Big John's Closeouts. They hammer high prices. How do we find you?
Well, you can come to 238 East Elk Avenue here in Elizabethton, Tennessee. You can give us a call at 423-542-3117. You can find us on Facebook, or you can email us at experts@bigjohnscloseouts.com. Or you can go to our Facebook or website, at bigjohnscloseouts.com. Cabinet questions, cabinets at Big John's Closeouts, or you can reach me personally, Mike at bigjohnscloseouts.com.
One of our great sponsors, folks, of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports. They hammer high prices at Big John's Closehouse. Back on the Tom Baylor Sports Show, our next guest talking Major League Baseball. We do it every week at 12 o'clock. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm good, Tom. How are you?
Good. Have you had the honey pepper pimento yet?
I have.
You had it last week?
I had it last week. We were in Johnson City last week, and I had it there.
And your take on that, sir?
I liked it. I really did. I thought it was really good. I have recommended it to a couple people, and I've had mixed reviews from them. Some liked it, some said it wasn't anything special, but said they'd prefer the original, which I can understand that.
Yeah.
If you're not a big pimento cheese fan, maybe so.
The caramel crumble milkshake, you had it?
I have not had it.
Oh.
Have not had it.
Oh, yeah. I went for it first thing.
It sounds good, that's for sure.
It's almost got a little pumpkin to it. So, Hello, Russell Riddle. Hello, Nina. She said we have Hulu, and it includes Disney and ESPN. We're very happy with it. So there you go. Doug said you want to drop Charter and go with Sling or Hulu. Hello, Jenny Whaley. Hello, Judy Potter. Hello, Kirk Jones. Looking forward to you coming back to Unicoi. I am too. We'll be over there. Oh gosh, I guess basketball season. I think I'm coming back. They've already played them in volleyball, and we don't play them in football. But Sean will be here with us coming up next half hour at the 12:30 mark. Our head football coach of the Elizabethton Cyclones. All right, let's start with the boys down in Atlanta. They won 10 out of 13, got beat last night. Cardinals hit 4 home runs. Soroka says he had numbness in his pitching hand.
Yeah, something was definitely wrong.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that is. You don't like to hear that at all. But yeah, he was definitely not on his A game for sure last night. So, but yeah, numbness in the pitching hand. That's not good. You don't want that.
4 home runs for the Cardinals. They win it 10-6. Here are the games. I was looking at the games the Braves have left. They've got some cupcakes. They got some pretty tough teams.
Mm-hmm.
They got 7 games left with Philadelphia. They got 3 in Miami, and they got 3 against the Cubs.
Yeah.
And it's big for the other teams too, because the Phillies and the Cubs trying to get into the playoffs and wild card. So
yeah, and Miami's not out of it.
No. So some pretty interesting schedule down the stretch for the Braves.
Yeah.
Their magic number to get in the postseason is 4, which they'll get, of course. The magic number to win the division is 12. They'll probably get that too. So the Braves rotation right now, they're looking for that 5th man. Apparently Soroka's not going to be it.
Yeah.
Strider, Freed, Morton, and Helder. And the other 3 guys are kind of throwing in the bag and shaking them up. Jared Schuster, Dylan Dodd, and Darius Vine. So those are the guys we'll try and find that 5th spot. None of those guys are too shabby.
No, they're not. Those 3 you mentioned, probably be a 4 most rotations at least, if not even higher up than that.
The Braves hammer out 4 more last night on a losing cause. They got 263 home runs as a team.
Phenomenal.
It's incredible. Ozuna got 1. Ozzy Albies hit his 29th. Olsen goes with 2 last night. He now takes over the home run lead with Ohtani not really producing like he was. And so he now has 45 home runs in the season for Matt Olson. So who's your MVP right now? Who?
Wow, what a question. So last week I definitely would have said Ronald Acuna Jr., I think. And right now I'd probably still stick with him, I guess. He's not done a whole lot this past week, but overall for the whole season, he's probably the guy right now.
I think you got to throw Matt Olson in there a little bit.
Well, you do. You definitely got to consider him.
This guy's got 45 home runs.
Yeah, you definitely got to consider him.
Yeah. And who else? Altuve?
In the American League, yeah, probably so. Him and, of course, Ohtani's probably going to run away with that, I guess. Even with the injury, because he's still able to hit, I think he's still going to. I think he may run away with it.
So back to the National League, you would go Olson, a consideration. Certainly Acuna.
Yeah.
Who else? Anybody else?
Those 2 guys really stand out. I mean, that would be probably 2 of the guys that I would really think about greatly. Freddie Freeman maybe as well, because he's put together a really good season, kind of under the radar, I think, even though it's hard to do that in Los Angeles because they're always a team we're talking about. But yeah, and probably Mookie Betts when you talk about the Dodgers too, because if you look at his numbers, he's had a very strong season as well. So it'll probably be one of those 4 guys, I'll bet.
We're live at Chick-fil-A here in Elizabethton. Tomorrow will be at Rick Walters' Horseman Insurance. Be at his office tomorrow, broadcasting live. Then Friday, we'll be at Food City, kicking things off. Food City in Elizabethton here on the Food City Friday, kicking off the weekend. So we'll be there, broadcasting live. Our show brought to you by Ford of Elizabethton and Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. MSRP right now, 10% off select vehicles. You go in and sit down and say, we're going to whack 10% right off the top. That's pretty significant. And you don't have to make a payment for 90 days. So you're talking now, what's today? September the 6th, October, November, December the 6th where you make your first payment. That ain't too bad.
Yeah.
Altuve, Jose Altuve, 2,000 hits, 200 home runs, 200 steals, faster than any player in baseball history. Also hit for his first cycle earlier in the season. Now, he was out hurt for the early part of the season. What did he do last night? 3 home runs in the first 3 innings. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Over the Rangers, 14-1. The Rangers got problems. We'll talk about them in a moment.
Yeah.
5 home runs in 2 games. First player since 1961 to hit 4 consecutive, to homer, I should say, in 4 consecutive innings. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. You know, I get that in Little League, but you walk up to the big boys and you hit 4 straight home runs in 4 straight innings. That's a heck of a stat.
Yeah, because, I mean, how often does a player get to bat in 4 consecutive innings?
Yeah.
You know, very seldom throughout their career, let alone hit a home run in each inning for 4 consecutive innings.
Yes. Jose Altuve, who started in Greenville. Or was in Greenville,
yeah.
anyway, back when they were the Astros.
I'm sure that's where he got to start.
Yep.
Yeah. Rookie
And so-
league right there in Greenville.
Yep. So he is one of us in a kind of roundabout way because he played in the Tri-Cities in Greenville when they had the Astros in the Appalachian League. So I look at their schedule. They got an interesting schedule, too. The Astros, they're not out of the woods. They got the unpredictable San Diego Padres. You don't know what they're going to do. But then you have 3 against Baltimore. You have 3 in Seattle. You have 3 at Arizona.
Yeah.
That's a pretty tough schedule down the stretch.
That is tough. Of course, they got Kansas City and Oakland thrown in there as well. So, you know, they ought to win those games, which you never know, but they ought to win those games. But, yeah, you don't want to play Baltimore. And Arizona's a good team as well. So they're fighting for that wild card right now in the National League. So, yeah, I mean, that's tough. And San Diego, I mean, let's face it, they're probably not going to make the playoffs.
Yep.
But their run differential, they have a positive run differential. And that, let me look it up. It's
Wow.
crazy.
It is interesting.
Yeah. So their record is 66-74, and their run differential is a plus 68.
Which means, for folks out there going, what does that mean? You would say,
They have scored 68 more runs than their opponents have over the course of the season, which means they've won a lot of blowouts and lost some close games is what it means. So, you know, which is an interesting stat, because if you look in their division, San Francisco and Arizona are both ahead of them in the division, but they both have negative run differentials.
it is interesting.
San Francisco's is a negative 12, Arizona's is a negative 25.
What'd you say? There's 13 under 500. Is that right? 66 and 74, San Diego.
66 and 74. So that put them
They're 8 under.
8 under.
8 under.
8 under 500.
And yet they've
19 and a half games back in the division.
Yet they've scored 68 more runs than they've given up.
Yeah.
That is a crazy stat.
Yeah, it is.
But it is what it is. Let's take a look at today's schedule. Afternoon games: Milwaukee and Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Cleveland, the Giants and the Cubbies in Chicago. We're talking about some of these teams in a moment. Sean Witten joins us coming up at the bottom of the hour. Toronto at Oakland, Colorado at Arizona, Philadelphia and San Diego. Those are the day games. Tonight, Seattle at Cincinnati, Boston and Tampa Bay, the Dodgers in Miami, Detroit at Yankee Stadium, the Mets in Washington, the Braves hosting the Cardinals, Strider on the mound against Dakota Hudson. Hudson 5-1, Strider 16-4. The best in the bigs, White Sox in Kansas City. You got Houston and Texas. Max Scherzer against Justin Verlander. A couple old buddies going against each other.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And you can watch that game free on MLB.com tonight.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, even if you don't have the subscription, that one's free.
There you
tonight.
go.
So what a game to get for free.
Yeah. Houston and Texas, Scherzer against Verlander. And Baltimore plays the Angels in Los Angeles. So that's what you got in Major League Baseball. Let's take a look at the standings. We're live here again at Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton on this, excuse me, 6th day of September. All right, in the East, the Orioles lead the Tampa Bay Rays by 3.5. The Orioles have won 4 in a row and 7 out of 10. The Rays have won 6 out of 10. The Blue Jays have won 2 in a row. They won 7 out of 10. And the Yankees getting ready to leapfrog over the Red Sox, getting closer anyway. Yankees have won 4 in a row and 7 out of 10. So, you talk about Baltimore, but Toronto and Tampa Bay, Greg, they're just not going to go away.
They're not. They're really not. Tampa Bay's 3.5 back in the division. Toronto's fighting for that wild card. They're 10.5 games back of Baltimore. So, with it now being September, they've got a lot to overcome to win the division, and they have to have some help. Baltimore's going to have to lose some games, but and the Yankees are back at 500. They were below 500 for a while. They're back at 500 again, and they could catch the Red Sox for 4th place in that division. I don't think the 4th and 5th place teams are going to make the playoffs from that division, but you don't want to be the 5th place team, especially if you're the New York Yankees. You don't want to come in last.
In the Central, the Twins have won 2 in a row and 6 out of 10. They lead the Guardians by 7 in a bad division.
Yeah.
In the West, the Astros have leapfrogged over everybody. The Astros now up in front, up on top, rather. They've won 2 in a row, 7 out of 10. The Mariners have lost 3 in a row. They're 5-5 over their last 10. The Rangers, wow, they've lost 2. They've lost 6 out of 10. They're dropping like a rock.
Yeah.
And the Angels have dropped like a rock. They've lost 5 in a row, 8 out of 10. They're 14.5 games out now. They are 11 games under 500. Angels, big disappointment.
Yeah, they are. They are. Of course, the injury to Ohtani, the injury to Trout, that's been tough. And even at the trade deadline, they thought they were going to be contenders. They went all in and they made some moves and tried to do something, then released all the guys so that they picked up just because of a salary dump, because they realized, okay, we're not going to do this.
Yeah.
We're not going to make it.
Not going to go in the hole financially for guys that aren't producing, so they dumped them.
Yeah.
The wild card, if we played today, and we won't, but if we played today, Tampa Bay, Seattle, and Toronto would be in. Texas, a half game out, and the Red Sox are 5 games out. And if you can catch them and get in there, it's only the 6th day of September. You got about 24, 25 games left, I think, for each team, basically. So Boston, in theory, could. But right now, if we play today, Tampa Bay, Seattle, and Toronto is pretty good 3.
That is, and the thing that just jumps out at me is if the season ended today, Texas would not be in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. They've been one of the best teams in all of baseball the whole season, and they have fell apart in just the last couple of weeks. And
why is that?
Well, their pitching hasn't been the greatest, and a few of their big bats have gone cold as well. But I mean, I don't know, because if you look at the pitchers they have, you think, my goodness, they should be able to compete with anybody, but they just haven't. They just haven't. They fell apart.
Let's take a look at the National League. In the East, the Braves are the Braves. They've lost 2 in a row, but won 7 out of 10. They're 14.5 above the Phillies. The Marlins have won 5 in a row. They've won 6 out of their last 10 in 3rd place. They're 5 games behind the Phillies in 3rd in the East. Phillies are in 2nd, of course. In the Central, Milwaukee leads the Cubs by 2.5. They've won 6 out of 10. The Cubs, there's another team, Greg, not going away. They won 3 in a row and 7 out of 10. They're 2.5 back, and they just won't fold. They're hanging.
The Cubs came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago. They had a losing record. Mm-hmm. And look at them now, 75-64, 11 games over 500, 2.5 games back in a wild card spot right now. I think they have that 2nd wild card, and they're a team to be reckoned with. I've watched them play a few times this year, and I'm going to tell you, they're a tough team. You don't want to play them in a short series.
Reds in 3rd place. They've won 2 in a row. They're 5-5 over the last 10. So the Cubs, I can still remember the last time I went to see the Reds play. They played the Cubs. That all those yahoos around me going, "Let's go Cubbies!"
Oh, drives me
nuts. Oh yeah.
I heard it on the radio the other night. I was listening to the game, and it was like the game was in Wrigley, but it was at Great American Ballpark. And they had that chant going in there. I am not kidding. I have been to numerous games at Great American Ballpark where I think Cubs fans outnumbered the Reds fans.
Yeah. It was that day for sure. Of course, that's been, I don't know, 5-10 years ago. I can't remember the last time I was there. But
yeah,
let's go Cubbies.
Oh yeah, it drives me
like,
nuts.
Oh yeah.
Drives me nuts.
And they know it, and that's
why
okay.
they do it.
Sure, they paid their money, they can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does great, but that's all right.
Yeah. Now there was one time I was there. Reds fans just started booing when they did that.
Yeah.
You know, and did drown them out.
Oh, they did?
Oh, we were going nuts. I was yelling as loud as anybody. I couldn't even speak the next
He's a
day,
redneck.
hardly.
Is your mother watching, by the way?
She's watching. Yeah, absolutely.
Hello,
She's
Ev. How you
watching.
doing, lady? We are back live again. We took yesterday off. We're back here again live at Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton. In the West, the Dodgers are the Dodgers, 31 games over 500. Arizona and the Giants and the Padres all struggling right now. So you look at the National League wild card. If it stopped today, as you mentioned, the Phillies, the Cubs, and the Reds would be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Marlins are a half game out. Arizona's 1 game back. And San Francisco, all of a sudden, the Giants are there. They're 2 games back. So both wild cards are exactly what Rob Manfred wants, the commissioner. We'll go right down to the wire, looks like.
Yeah, it is. It is for sure. And you know, it looks like Philadelphia is going to get that wild card. They're 4.5 games up. A lot of and you know, you got to pass 2 other teams to knock it out of them. So, well, let me say it this way: 3 teams have got to pass them to get there.
To get there.
That's probably not going to happen. So it looks like Philadelphia is probably going to lock that one in. The Cubs and the Reds, we don't know yet. I mean, anything can happen there. The interesting thing is those 2 teams finish the season against each other. So that's going to be an interesting series for sure. They just split that series in Cincinnati, and you know, so it was an interesting series for sure. But that last one of the season is going to be really something, because it's going to matter this year.
The Cinderella stories this year. I'm going to pick my 2. You pick your 2, and the 2 disappointments. My Cinderella stories to this point would be the Baltimore Orioles and, let me think here, Baltimore and the Chicago Cubs. The disappointments for me would be, gosh, that's a toss-up. Texas would be a disappointment. Padres, big disappointment. And let me think here. Padres. Who else? Well, the Yankees, I guess. But the Padres for sure. Probably the Padres, and how the Rangers, and maybe the Angels too.
Yeah.
What about you?
Okay, so if I had to pick disappointments for sure, okay, you did surprises first. Baltimore, I think, is a surprise. I mean, because they showed us last year they could compete, but the fact that they're dominating that division, which is one of the strongest divisions in baseball, that was a surprise for me. I thought they would compete this year. I didn't think they would be as dominant as they are. So that's been a big surprise for me. I think in a good way. In the National League, maybe Arizona. I didn't expect them to be as good as they are. Corbin Carroll has really fired up that team a lot as a rookie, and like what I see for their future, because they've got a good, solid group of young guys. If you talk about the disappointments, gosh, St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh yeah, forgot about them.
You know, they would definitely be a huge disappointment, because I picked them to win the division, and they're going to be the bottom feeders, it appears, at this point. And then definitely the Mets. I mean, they went out and spent a boatload of money, and have been a huge disappointment this year.
Yep, forgot about them too.
So they're definitely a huge disappointment as well. And you know, and I guess if I was going to say teams in the American League, I would pick the Angels like you did as well. And you have to say the Yankees, because, I mean, I keep saying the Yankees, a lot of it has to do with injuries, but still you got to be able to overcome those setbacks, and they just haven't been able to do it this year. So they would be a disappointment as well.
Yep. Jimmy Stout said Cardinals. I forgot about the Cardinals and Mets, no question. So there's been a lot of disappointments, really.
Yeah, there have.
And a lot of surprises. You know, there's no question. In the American League, Baltimore.
And San Diego, because I thought they were going to I thought they would compete for that division. And you know, we talked about their run differential. They can score a lot of runs, that's for sure, but they just did not put it together this year like we thought they would. They're
4th out of 5 teams, so they really, so they're going to unload them too.
I'll tell you what that tells me too. You don't necessarily have to have superstar players, because they do. I mean, they really do. I mean, you got Soto and Bogarts and Machado, Tatis.
Tatis.
You start naming off these guys they've got on their team. This is an all-star team.
Yeah.
You know, but you don't have to have those guys. You just got to have the good, solid guys that can mesh together, play as a team, and win. And you know, and they went out and spent a bunch of money, but it did not put the wins in the win column.
Yep. Didn't get it done.
Yeah.
Hello to Inez Burton, Jimmy Stout, Lisa Bigelow Baker, Krista Britt, Brian Kraft, Russell Riddle. Thanks you kids for being with us. We're live here at Chick-fil-A in Elizabeth. And so between now and next Wednesday, back here next Wednesday, it's going to really get interesting in this wild card race because, again, Phillies, Cubs, and Reds, the Marlins are half game out. Arizona, as of today, is 1 game out. In San Francisco, you got 6 battling for 3 now.
Yeah.
3 spots.
Yeah, within 2 days, that can change dramatically.
Oh, absolutely. So, and in the American League, Texas a half game out, Boston 5 out.
Yeah.
So the one bright spot I would think for Texas, I'm being selfish here, but they continue to slide. They would probably go, hey, Evan Carter, come on up and try it. We've lost 2 in a row, 6 out of 10. I would think at some point the Rangers management may say, you know, we're in a slide here. Let's bring some of these young kids up. Yeah. Evan Carter being one of them, see how he's doing.
Yeah. You know, I think the thing that bugs me just a little bit about, you know, the current state of baseball, because, you know, used to what would happen in September, they would open up the rosters, and anybody on the 40-man roster that you wanted to bring up to help your big league club, you could bring them up. You can't do that anymore. You can only have 28 guys on your roster, which it used to be, you know, up to 40 if you want to bring all of them up. Nobody ever did that, but you know, teams would have 30 players or even maybe 32 on their roster because they'd bring these guys up in September, give them a shot. You don't see that anymore because they've now limited it to 28, and you know, so that's sort of a shame because a guy like Evan Carter could get his big chance in September, but you know, now it may be sometime next year before that happens.
I was pulling his stats while you were talking. He's batting .360 right now, Evan Carter, as of Monday. Evan Carter batting .360
since being called up.
Since being called up, yep. No homers and 3 RBIs. But again, he's batting .360, and you know he's clipping right along.
Yeah,
that ain't too shabby. Now another kid we want to talk about, Hunter Stratton.
Yeah,
former Sullivan East player. He got called up to the Pirates for AAA. So we got another youngster. We're pulling for him too. Hunter Stratton from Sullivan East High School is now with the Pittsburgh Pirates. They got his contract, picked him up. So he was while he was in Indianapolis, he had yielded an earned run July 29th, producing 13 1/3 shutout innings, 19 strikeouts, ERA 3.99. So anyway, Hunter Stratton gets called up. He was 16th round pick in the 2017 MLB draft. So pretty cool. Another one of our local kids. So
absolutely,
we're all about it, folks. Not just Evan Carter. We're all about it. So Hunter Stratton from Sullivan East now with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah,
it's good for all of us.
Absolutely.
And when you're in other parts of the country, going, hey, they must play some pretty good baseball in East Tennessee. You got an Elizabethan kid and a Sullivan East kid in the bigs.
Yeah.
So that's the way I would look at it if I was out there somewhere watching and listening. So anyway, good stuff. Yeah. Stanton?
Yeah. So Giancarlo Stanton hit his 400th Major League home run. The 4th fastest player to get to 400 home runs by number of games in his career. And the 3 guys that are ahead of him, Mark McGwire, Babe Ruth, and A-Rod.
Pretty good company.
Yeah.
Ain't bad.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth, A-Rod, and
Mark
McGwire.
Yeah.
Pretty good start for the boy.
And to be honest, it was all of the numbers for a number of games that looked to me like were pretty close. So, you know, so you get your name thrown out there with Babe Ruth. That's
you're doing something.
That's about as good as it gets.
Oh yeah.
You know, because let's face it, if that guy had taken care of himself, he would not be breaking his records.
No, no, he
But he just
kind of slid off the table at the end, didn't he?
yeah, he did it. I mean, come on, the guy was known for eating 6 hot dogs during the game, and stuff like that.
Smoking cigarettes,
Yeah. And drinking quite a bit.
Yeah.
If he had just taken care of himself, Barry Bonds would have had no chance to touch his records
No.
and stuff.
but he didn't, and so there you go.
He didn't, and and he was still considered one of the greatest players of all time, but yet not one of the best athletes of all time.
No, talking about Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
All right, you hungry?
Yes, sir.
You doing the honey pepper pimento today? Doing something different?
I am not. I'm going grilled chicken Cool Wrap today. I'm going that route. I like that thing.
I want you to get the caramel crumble milkshake so you can report.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You do that?
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. Ev, is it okay if you get the milkshake? She's like,
She baked a cake over the weekend, so
She made a cake?
it was some kind of caramel,
Something.
sweet potato cake. It had sweet potatoes in it.
This is your mother's cooking. You don't say some kind of a caramel. I mean,
Well, okay, it was delicious.
don't get in trouble with Mama.
No, I ate a piece yesterday.
Oh, it was delicious. You-
It has sweet potatoes in it.
Oh, really?
Sweet potato cake with I don't know what kind of icing it had. It was a white icing on it, but then you drizzled this caramel stuff over top of it as well, and of course the cake would kind of soak that up. And,
Nice recovery.
it was good.
Good job.
Yes, sir.
Ev, it's okay. Some kind of a cake. It was great. Oh, you
well,
got it.
I don't know. I
You
just
got it.
know that it had. She said it had sweet potatoes in it.
It all matters.
Yeah,
Good.
'cause a lot of people put pumpkin and stuff this time of year.
Mhm.
She goes sweet potatoes.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Greg Sire with us next week. He's with us every week talking Major League Baseball. Sean Witten, head football coach of the third-ranked Cyclones, coming up next here in the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Talking to Dr. Aaron Kaiser from Physical Therapy Services. Tell us what you're all about.
Well, we're physical therapy, and so what we do is we put people through rehab, whether it's surgical or non-surgical, and try to get them back as functionally possible as fast as we can so that they're functional.
Yep. Things you guys do, things that you offer, the ways you take care of people.
Okay, so we have a bunch of equipment that we get to use on people all the time. So we have an Alter G, which is an anti-gravity treadmill. We have a Biodex. We have new steps. We do a lot of manual. We do modalities. We really do it all. We treat knee replacements, shoulder replacements, rotator cuff. We do vertigo. We do carpal tunnel. We do neuropathy. We do it all.
Do it all
Yeah.
and do it well.
Thank
2 locations.
Yes, 2 locations. One is 1975 West Elk Avenue. That is our main orthopedic clinic. That's where we do the athletes and the adults and that kind of thing. And then we have a pediatric clinic. It's in medical care, 1500 West Elk Avenue, and that's where we have PT and OT for kids.
They have a lot to offer, folks. So the best way to do is find out through social media what they do offer and how do we find you.
So we have Facebooks they're separate from both of them, the ortho clinic and the pediatric clinic. And then, of course, you can always just call us or grab me on a sideline. You'll probably find me there most of the time.
There you go. Dr. Aaron Kaiser, one of our great sponsors of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports at Physical Therapy Services.
Thank you.
At Carter County Bank, it's our job to help you focus on the happy moments and check off the things on your to-do list to make them happen. We're here along the way so you can pull off the happiest moments in life. Carter County Bank, in the business of happiness.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, look who stopped by, our head coach of the third-ranked Elizabethton Cyclones. Again, the polls came out today. We told you Pearl Cone #1, Greenville #2, and the Cyclones #3. Gosh, Coach, tomorrow night it should be a great game down in Greenville. Greenville #2 in our league, or in our polls in 5A, and Alcoa #1 in theirs. Going to play tomorrow night in Greenville. Should be a great game.
big credit to Greenville, scheduling out a conference football game and big games. I feel like our area up here does a really good job of non-conference. I mean, it's a lot like, us taking on both 6A schools in Science Hill and DB. So, I think it's a great challenge. It tells you a lot about where your football team is, and I think teams like ourselves, need games like that.
Absolutely. Last Friday night, great crowd traveled with us down to Granger County for the Granger Grizzlies. That is, I know for you, those who didn't make it down there, it's a beautiful place, beautiful stadium. They do us right. They treat us with, first-class hospitality when we get down there. On the field, we got going pretty good, pretty quick. Caleb Holzer was one of our players of the game. Two quick touchdowns, a 4-yard run and a 2-yard run, and out of the gate, we're off and running.
It is a beautiful place, and got a great surface as well.
Absolutely.
Probably one of the only places we'll play with grass, but it's a beautiful place. Always loved going down there. Got off to a really good start. Defense forced 3 and out. Got the run game going right off the bat, and good to see guys like Holzer get rewarded, and because we're going to need his run game later on in the year.
Yep, we'll run down who our players of the game were. He was one of them. Gets a free sandwich from Port Travis Deli. Landry Buckles, big interception, 27-yard pick. I really felt that was a big play in the game.
It was huge. It's great to see us score on defense. Mason Ball got the arm of the quarterback, tipped the ball up in the air. Landry Buckles, we've been trying to get him a little bit more reps at a linebacker position to help Holzer and Zeth out, the running back, and, man, he picked that thing off. He almost celebrated just a little too early. He had that ball up in the air almost before he got across the goal line. But it's good to see him have excitement. It's a big play for our defense.
Second pick of the season for a touchdown. Of course, Eli got it against Science Hill earlier in the year. And then Zeth Mullins gets a touchdown, 5-yard run, 28-0. Into the first quarter, we're off and running.
Well, it was good. We've been trying to mix it up a little bit. We started with Zeth at the outside linebacker position, so we started Holzer at running back. And then second series, we had Holzer at linebacker and had Zeth at running back. So it's good to see us mix those guys up and see both of them run really hard and score.
End of the first quarter, 28-0. Second quarter, it was a 1-yard run on the Wildcat formation by Jeriah Griffin. Bowers point after 35-0. Let's talk about Will Bowers. Here's a freshman kid's coming in there. He's nailing these point after.
Really consistent. I mean, that's really what you're wanting is guys super consistent, super solid in what he does. And, and we've got 2 really good kickers. Caleb's done a fantastic job as well, kicking off and punting. But Will does a great job. He's super consistent, and that's what you really like.
Hello, Jimmy Stout down in Atlanta. Hello to Rick Ranson in Pensacola. Hello to Gary Banks in Kingsport watching. Hello, Baker. Yep. We'll talk about his son in a minute. They get a kickoff return. Doesn't happen often, but they, to their credit, they came right back and got a big chunk of real estate kickoff return.
Yeah, it always seems to kind of a lackadaisical effort. Sometimes when you get up, you sub some guys in on kickoff and they return one back. But credit to those, Granger, they continue to play hard, and special teams is a big part of what you got to do to win down the road, and we're trying to get more guys on those special teams to help some of our starters out and giving those guys an opportunity. And it kind of backfired us on there, but it gives us a chance to show the film and try to learn from those situations.
Zeth Mullins gets his second touchdown of the game, a 13-yard run. All this is in the first half. We jump out 42-8, and then Jeriah with 6 seconds to go. I thought it was a great play. Griffin gets that touchdown pass from Rhett Slagle. We go in at halftime. 40, 49, 48, 49-8?
Well, the last touchdown was basically a 95-yard drive, but it was a 2-minute drill. We had 1 timeout with less than 50 seconds to go. We had 2 stop the clocks with 2 kills. We got a third down completion to Eli. And then, we were able to kind of get the ball down the field a little bit and then threw a pass to Jeriah to score. So it was really good to see us execute that. We had 2 stop the clocks where everybody has to get the line and quarterback's got to spike it. So it was a great opportunity for us to get that on film, show it, kind of learn. We've talked a lot about explanation marks in football, how you start the game, how you finish the second quarter, how do you start the third quarter, Those are big explanation marks for us. And I thought, working the 2-minute drill, which we work all the time, I thought in the years past we were about as good in 2 minutes as we've been. It really helped us win a lot of football games. And, you go back to like teams like, Nebraska, they lost how many games in the fourth quarter by 1 possession? Or you talk about the Detroit Lions that they got on a roll. They won 6 out of 7 because one possession games. And so last year, how many games one possession games came down to the end, just got to be able to finish. So really proud that where guys are staying focused and executing when trying to put that exclamation mark right before half.
Our last touchdown run, I thought it was really cool to see Cam Baker back there. Now, he galloped down the sideline for a 42-yard run. That was fun to see. Yet another running back we can use in the future. That's a big-time run.
Well, we've been working to try to create some depth. I mean, obviously we got, Zeth and Holzer play defense and offense. We've sprinkled Dry back there some, which Dry's grew up playing running back. And he's got great speed. And then, Cam's tough, Tom. I'm telling you that he plays so many positions on offense, and now he's playing a little bit of corner, and I mean, he's super strong. In my time as 17 years, I've only had maybe a handful of guys that can do what Cam can do from a physical standpoint. I mean, tight end, H-back, receiver, running back, and defense. I mean, he's so strong. I mean, my chest stays bruised through the summer. I'm glad when the season starts because these guys don't beat up on me anymore during the summer. I get to hold a shield. I've had to order new shields. I need to get one that Velcros around my neck like a necklace and wear it, but I have to armor up. But these guys do a great job. I mean, they're so strong, so physical, and really trying to continue to add more things to our offense, easy throws for our quarterbacks to get them into the game better. And it's awesome to have guys like Mason Hall, Mason Ball, Cam Baker that does a lot of those blocks. When we throw those little screens out there to Dry and Luke, Cam does a lot of the dirty work, and he's an unsung hero for our football team right out of the gate. Last
points we had was a safety. Tell us about the safety.
You had some young guys in there and did a great job again on our defense, and I think they had a bad snap or we stuffed them in the end zone and got a safety. So it's good to see a lot of our young guys step up and play well and add points to the scoreboard.
Our Port Travis Deli Players of the Week this week. It's tough to do because all these kids got involved, and we try and spread it around. And as I said during the broadcast, I mean, I could give 20 sandwiches away if they'd go out of business. I mean, they're already giving 3 or 4 sandwiches at $5 a pop. So, that's very kind for Port Travis to do that. Caleb Holzer, Landry Buckles, and we picked a couple of hogs. Coach Van Us and I picked a couple of hogs. Excuse me, Landon Hughes and Eli Guess on the defensive front wall. We felt like they really kind of set the tone.
Yeah, Landon Hughes, Eli, those guys have been doing a good job. I mean, our defensive ends got a lot of attention on film, but our inside guys have done a great job. Last year it's where really a lot attacked us was the inside guys. They take on a lot of double team blocks, down blocks, center back blocks, and so they got to do a good job of holding their ground and anchoring, not allowing the linemen to climb and get to the linebackers. So really proud of how far those guys have come. Holzer's a tough kid. He's worked really hard and he's done a great job. He's an undersized linebacker. Then also, he's an undersized running back. So it's good to see him get that long run for a touchdown. So really, it was a awesome performance by our guys. Other than a couple kickoffs there and solid performance to see a number of guys, help us out.
We win at 65-14. Polls are out this week. We stay at number 3. Tell us about the Cherokee Chiefs, this week's opponent.
Well, it's an upcoming team, and they're a young football team. They've struggled in the past, but obviously it's another opportunity for us to play. We've not been to Cherokee in a long time. 2019, I think, was the last time we've been there. But maybe 20. But we just got to continue to, do a really good job offensively. We want to stay in another good rhythm and do a good job of staying sound, throwing and running the ball, and see if we can continue to, move some people around. Really, we need a lot of momentum on the offensive end, special teams. Of course, our defense has really played well in 2 really big football games, but just need a little bit more consistent on the offensive end.
So we get these big leads, which we hope will happen Friday night, gives you an opportunity to kind of move some folks around.
Yeah, I mean, we want to see what guys can do, what they can't do. The thing about Tom is you also before you can add to the playbook, you got to eliminate some things. So we want to really see, okay, what works, what doesn't work, what we like, what we don't like. You get an opportunity to see some different things on film that you can coach off of. And so, really it's about ball players. It's not about ball plays. And so we want to see if we can get, formations, running a lot of consistency in the plays, passing the ball, that intermediate passing game, the quick game and the deep balls are a lot of times the easiest. It's that intertween, it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 12. It's maybe too far to run it, so you got to be able to do a good job of pass protection, know who we're throwing to. So we want to get that executed on Friday night.
Big week for Cyclone football. Of course, we have the game Friday night, but tomorrow night we got the undefeated THYE Cyclones have outscored their opponents 126-6. If I added it up right, and they've got Sullivan Heights coming tomorrow at the bank. 5:30 kickoff. We're going to stream it. Andrew McKeon's going to help me stream it. We're going there at 5:10. So you got THYE Thursday night. We'll have a huge following as we always do for our final road trip. Thank goodness we to be home next week. We'll have a big bunch of Cyclones traveling to Rogersville on Friday night. Then on Saturday, we got Greenville coming for Junior Cyclones.
We got Greenville and Clouton coming to the Citizens-based Stadium on Saturday. There's also a JV game
You're right.
Thursday night versus Westridge up at THYE. We've added just an extra game to get those guys some more reps. Last couple of years, we've played Westridge on a Thursday instead of a Monday, but also our JV team won by 1 point against Greenville on Monday, which is a spectacular performance and effort, and it's blazing hot too at 10:30 kickoff. But yeah, it's a big week, and then huge week, I mean, to have two JV games, a middle school game, and then Saturday we've got Cloudland and Greenville coming to town. It's a lot of excitement early in the football season for sure.
Let's run down this JV game. It was a heck of a football game, and so let's talk about that. And Braylon Britt, 41-yard catch from Jackson Price. Then they came back. This Kane Rickard kid, this freshman quarterback, Greenville, he's going to be special. Yeah. He's a good player. 7-7. By the way, I want to say thanks to the Greenville folks. Got a lot of comments. He said, you didn't run our kids down. I'm not going to run anybody's kids down. These are kids. So if your Greenville kids make a good play, we'll tell you to make a good play. They're kids. You don't want somebody running.
Listen, there's so much respect between the two programs.
Absolutely.
Because how hard, it's always a battle. I text Spradlin when the game was over. I said, another battle. Super proud of your kids, how hard they fought. It's what you get when you get Elizabeth and Greenville together. And so it doesn't matter. You can throw out any record. You can throw out it. No matter where you play, it's going to be a battle. So just much respect to both programs because, we try to do it the right way just like they do.
In fact, his wife was watching, and she sent, because there was a uniform mix-up for Greenville, she sent the right numbers on the right kids. So thank you to Leanne Spradlin who did that. Braylon Britt, an 8-yard catch from Price. Braylon Britt, a 28-yard catch from Price. Logan Campbell had a 15-yard catch from Jackson Price. Halftime, it's 27-7. You think you got it in the bag, but it's Greenville. And to their credit, it wasn't in the bag. Ricker, a 3-yard run, makes it 27-14. Clarity, who's an outstanding talent. 22-yard catch from Ricker makes it 27-21. They do an onside kick, and they manage to get it. Ricker takes it down, scores. Their point after got blocked, which was huge. So we go to end of regulation, 27-27. C.J. Mathis pounds it in from 3 yards out. We win it. Heck of a game.
Heck of a game. One of the best JV games been a part of. How far our JV teams come, and then guys like Billy Woodby had a big game on offense and defense. We ran McDuffie and C.J. ran hard. Jackson Price has grown tremendously in his passing game to be able to help that grew out. And, Logan Campbell made a toe-tapping catch in the corner of the end zone was huge. Obviously, Braylon's played really well, but Big J played well at the center position. Kodak played really good at the guards. Blaine and Riley Jones did really good at the tight ends, which we really need. So great performance by our JV kids and Greenville's team coming back and making a really good game. So just that's how you get better, Tom. You get better by our program plays more B team games than anybody. We play every week. That's why we play on Labor Day, because if you don't play, you lose that week. You lose the opportunity to play. And we played Greenville at the end of the year this year, so there's no really time to fit the game in anywhere else.
That,
so it's kudos for us to try to work it out and continue to play. Because, listen, Tom, those games get you better more so than any other game because it's tough, it's physical. You got to earn it. You can't trick them. You really just got to, continue to work on your skill, and it really teaches your mental toughness for down the road.
So I'll say we can't give away a bunch of sandwiches. I gave away 5 for the whole. I mean, I kept sitting there thinking, and by the way, Whitney Blevins helped me, did a great job. Lady helped me, and I really appreciated her stepping in there. She never tried it. And I said, you want to try it? She says, yeah, I'll try it. I always appreciate people thinking outside the box. So she did a good job. We'll probably try and work her in again. Our next JV game will be Monday. Dobbins Minute comes to town on the 11th, 9/11. So we'll be that one, 6 o'clock at the stadium. On Monday, we'll stream that one for you. So our players of the game, obviously Jackson Price. We talked about Braylon Britt making the catches. Price threw the football, had a heck of a game. Jackson Price, Braylon Britt. We also gave Travis Smalls a player of the game. Thought he was everywhere, number 31. He was all over the field defensively. Then we picked two more, Kyler McGovern and Uriah Matheson. Those guys played well, too.
McGovern is an upcoming defensive end. We used him at offensive lineman as well. And then Uriah Matheson has got great potential. I mean, if he continues to watch Zethlin Holzer, he's going to be an outstanding outside linebacker. Travis Smalls, good to see him get some work. Travis has been kind of hurt in and out off the field, just hurt and banged up. And last year and the years before, so it's good to see him healthy, trying to make some plays. Hopefully he can start contributing a little bit more on Friday night. We need those guys. Uriah Matheson help us out on special teams, just a number of guys. But it's good to see our freshman quarterback continue to grow, continue to get better. And, so we're off to a really good start there. And we had a great JV game against Morristown West last week and got off to a bad game against Science Hill. But, that's why you play those JV games, because young guys, that's how you get better.
So the quarterbacking situation looks pretty good. You've got Blevins down at T.A. Duggar. You've got Jackson Price, a 4-touchdown day against Greenville on Monday. And then you platoon Whitehead and Slagle. And so quarterback's looking okay,
Yeah,
Coach.
Guys are really good and, do a great job. I mean, we continue to work, continue to get better. We're down here every night, Sunday night, throwing and working under the lights, trying to just get better, and the guys have done a great job, just keeping themselves healthy, trying to grasp the offense, trying to keep it simple, but really, each person brings something different to the table, and try to coach all the guys the same way, but figuring out what this guy can do, what that guy can do, and then obviously making plays with their feet, to still be a threat running the ball, threat scrambling the ball, making good decisions. There's a lot that goes into quarterback play, but really liked how these guys have gotten off to a really good start.
Are you growing whiskers?
Just getting a little old right there. Just tough weeks.
Have you ever grown a beard?
No. Big Daddy would be rolling over his grave if I grew a beard. I wasn't allowed.
No, I got you. So it's a big week. Monday, Labor Day, Cyclones won JV in overtime against a good Greenville team. Of course, as we said, tomorrow night's T.A. Duggar and the JV football team up at Brown Childress Stadium, Dave Ryder Field. That's tomorrow. And then Friday night, we've got the Cyclones, third in the state against Cherokee at Cherokee. And then, of course, we come back with Junior Cyclones at the bank on Saturday with Cloudland and Greenville coming to town. And then, Coach, we finally get to come back home.
Yeah, finally. We'll be really excited about that. We get a big win against Cherokee. We'll come back home. Maybe an opportunity. I mean, we hope the place is going to be packed out. A lot of excitement. Can't get any better than that. So we're really going to be really excited to get back home against Daniel Boone and be in front of our home crowd and where we sweat each and every day out there on that turf, So no place like Citizens Bank. We've been really good since 2015 there, not lost many games at home. So, it's just an opportunity, fighting for home field advantage each and every time we step out on the field. And, hopefully we can get our youth football teams there and have a great crowd.
For the last 6 games, folks, we've complained and talked about being on the road, but 4 of the last 6 are at our place, starting with Boone next week. Then we go to East and Dobbins-Bennett. Then we come back home for Northview, Volunteer, Open Date, and Greenville. So 4 of the last 6 at Citizens Bank Stadium.
Scheduling's tough, Tom, and people don't realize, Science Hill had 4 games, and on top of that, just, when they add our football conference is different than basketball and baseball. So, we've got Granger and Cherokee in our league, and then, obviously Northview or Seymour we've had in the past. So just had a really tough 4 games to go play, and that's just part of it. But, the next year we'll have 6 home games, 4 away. So, it kind of works itself out. It's just kind of one of those things that you can only control what you control, and be fortunate enough. The thing about it is, Tom, that Morristown West game has been a really good pickup game for us. That was a really good win for us.
They're a good team.
It's a great game, great JV game. Picked up another JV game for our young guys, and so that game we're going to look back on our season. That's going to be a pivotal game in our season.
Absolutely. Remember the year we won the state? Went down and played. Was it William Blunt?
Yeah, William Blunt. We were losing.
And Deuce made an interception, took it back. That, to me, you and I talked that year. That was a turnaround game.
Yeah, for sure.
Morristown West, you wait and see. They got a good football team. That's going to be a big game in this season.
They play, Morristown West. I mean, you get they played their arch rival in Morristown East the first game of the week season. They played us the second game. Mm-hmm. They played Bristol last week, which is the conference game for them, and then they play Boone this week. So, I mean, you think that's a good team that schedules tough opponents, and so give those guys credit as well.
Be sure and give those to them
Yes, sir.
boys.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Go Cyclones. He's taking those players of games, and they also not only get pour trash, but they also get free drinks from Tuffy's inside Elizabethton High School. So the student-run coffee and espresso bar, and they'll get that as well. By the way, Friday night it'll be the 13th meeting between the two, and the Cyclones lead the series 11-2. They've won 3 in a row, and we'll be talking more about that on Friday night. We're going there at 6:55 with a pregame 7:30 kickoff from Cherokee High School. Video and audio, have them both for you. We're looking forward to it. Cyclones and the Cherokee Chiefs, the orange and black against the red and black, coming up Friday night, and we'll do that again. We're looking very much forward to bringing that to you. Eddie Pless will be with me on Friday night. Eddie Pless and London Taylor, my camera girl, who got caught eating a SpongeBob SquarePants popsicle in the air the other night. And so she's my camera girl, love her to death, my freshman basketballer and also a camera operator. And so I have 2 beautiful granddaughters, London and Sam, and so Samantha. So anyway, London will be with me Friday night. Eddie Pless, get a chance. He's going to call his first game with us. And so we're looking very much forward to Coach Pless putting on the headsets and calling it, the color commentating on Friday night from Cherokee High School. Quick break. We'll take a look at college football. The polls are out. We'll do that right after this from one of our great sponsors, the good folks from the Jewelers Bench. We are live here again on the road. We're at Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. It's brand spanking new.
Yeah, so this is their studded heart necklace. It's got a clasp that you can wear in the front, and then you can also put beads on it.
Yep.
And it's $165.
$165. All right, tell you about this one.
And then this is their signature bracelet, which typically is what everybody goes with, and it is $65.
$65, all right. And we got a ring. Tell us about the ring.
This is a new 3-stone blue CZ colored ring, and it's $115.
Yep. All right. Got more show and tell.
Yeah, so I thought we'd do something. You know, Halloween's coming up. They're also coming out with some new charms, but I love that little pumpkin. I think he's cute.
It is cute.
He's $60.
$60, all right, for the pumpkin from Pandora.
And then
all
this
right.
is a vampire with heart.
Vampire with a heart. Oh,
in the
yeah.
center, yeah. And that one was $70.
$70, yep. These are new. All right.
This is a new charm that they just came out with. I love it. It's got the moon, star, and sun, moon, and star dangle.
Mm-hmm.
And
Don't let the computer camera sell you. Come see it in person.
It's $85.
$85, all right.
And then these are new. It's the birthstone earrings. So, and I'm gonna just show you an example of this is August, and they're $60.
Okay.
And then this is September.
Awesome.
But we have them in, January through December.
All of them, right? All the months. Yep.
All of them.
Some of the things you can see, folks, here again at the Jewelers Bench, your full-service, full-time jewelry store in Elizabethton and Carter County. Social media, how do we find you?
Facebook and Instagram.
Right. Phone number?
Phone number is 423-542-5600.
Hours are open.
Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 6. Saturday, 9:30 to 2.
Ship all over the country.
We do.
And a very liberal, easy layaway plan.
Yep, as long as you're making payments.
That's
monthly.
That's it. All right here at the Jewelers Bench, one of our great sponsors of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports.
Win Huddle, we want to create a positive atmosphere where all athletes can further develop their skills, whether it's strength training, speed training, football skills. We train all athletes of all different kinds from ages 5 through college athletes. We actually trained our first athlete for the NFL Combine, Cameron Coleman, this past year. We got basketball athletes, soccer athletes, baseball athletes. So just contact us and we'll try to get your athlete to a higher level.
Social media, how do we find you?
Yeah, it's Witten Huddle on Facebook, social media. It's WITTENHUDDLE.
What about a phone number?
Yeah, 423-707-5419. Just contact me and we'll set up a private session. And then after those private sessions, you continue private session or you can join the group sessions.
One of our great sponsors of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show, Coach Ron Witten at Witten Huddle. Back on the Tom Daly Sports Judge Rundown College football, the polls are out. Released yesterday after week one concluded on Labor Day when Clemson, man, they laid an egg, didn't they? Wow. I mean, that was, goodness, that was embarrassing if you're a Clemson fan. And so we'll see if they can bounce back. They should. They've got Charleston Southern this week. And you would like to think they could kind of right the ship before Florida State comes to town in a couple of weeks. So that's Clemson's schedule. They've got Charleston Southern. And then, as we said, Florida State rolls into Death Valley on September the 16th at 8 o'clock. So they best get healthy quick because Florida State looked very impressive against LSU on Sunday. Wow. Really. They moved up from number 8 to number 4, and I'll give them that one. Some of these teams, I don't know, but I would definitely – Florida State, rock solid. Hello to Cam Baker. How you doing, buddy? Great run the other night for the Cyclones. So appreciate him. 42-yard run for a touchdown. That was a fun one to call. They're all fun to call, but old Cam was picking them up, putting them down. Hard-running kid. I hope they can use him back there more. So, anyway, it was Florida State, big win over LSU, going up to number 4. Highest ranking for the Seminoles since being number 3 back in 2017 preseason poll. Highest in-season ranking since 2016, 7 years ago. So the Seminoles are getting things turned around pretty quick. Georgia, let's run them down for you. Top of the poll, the Georgia Bulldogs. Michigan number 2, Alabama number 3, Florida State at number 4. They actually got some first-place votes. I'm telling you, 45 against that LSU team. Old number 22 in the secondary, I don't know what his name is, but they wore him out. The defensive backs, number 22 and 24 LSU, man, they had a field day against those guys. They had them spinning around. They didn't know where they were. And, again, Florida State quarterback's pretty good quarterback. It was a pretty good team I saw, beating a pretty good team. Ohio State at number 5, Southern Cal number 6, Penn State number 7, Washington number 8, Tennessee at number 9 in the country, and Notre Dame rounds out the top 10. You then have number 11, there's Jesse. So I'm going to get Jesse over here, give us a weather forecast. It'll look this way. Hello, Jesse. There he is. He saw me. Texas at number 11, Utah 12th, Oregon 13th, LSU 14th, Kansas State 15th, Oregon State number 16, North Carolina falls to, the number 17. Then you have Oklahoma, Wisconsin, and Ole Miss. Your final 5 in the poll looks like this. You've got Duke, Colorado, Texas A&M, Tulane, and Clemson. Everybody's going gaga over Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes. I'm not sold on them yet, but that's just me, everybody. It is a great Cinderella story, and it's getting a lot of pub, a lot of attention, and that's okay. But as far as, one game a season does not make. And so I don't know how good TCU is. I mean, we saw what they did last year. They got smoked by Georgia. So is it a big win? I don't know. They got Nebraska this week, and we'll find out how they shape up against the Cornhuskers. And so Colorado did crack the top 25. They're at number 22, Texas A&M 23, Tulane 24, and Clemson falls to number 25. Storm Tracker Sacker. Did you have a good holiday weekend?
Well, it started out on the right foot, but then I went under the weather, so I had to stay home for a while. So it wasn't my favorite, but it's okay.
All right.
How about you?
Yeah, it was great. Had a great weekend. Great.
Good.
Took yesterday off. That was good to recharge the batteries. So.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Every time we'll do more of that. Doing all these games at night and doing these shows, I'm going to.
You're coming into the busiest season of the year, aren't you?
Oh, baby. You have no clue. But I love it. I love it, but that's
fun.
Every night next week. See, Monday, JV football. Tuesday, volleyball. Wednesday's church. Thursday is volleyball or soccer. I can't remember what I have in front of me. The next Friday is our home football game.
You got time to eat and sleep in there?
Yeah, somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah. So anyway, took a day off. Had a great weekend. Hope you all did as well out there. Great Labor Day. So Weather-wise, what we got this week, sir?
Well, it's hot. It's humid. It's lower 90s. Seeing probably summer's last 10, I guess, right now. You know, it's like I said, it's pretty hot and humid. Rain chances creep up a little bit for your Thursday and Friday, but not all day, not everywhere, but hit and miss. You know, 50-50 shot at some stuff for Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday. But really, right now, I think the bigger area of interest is this hurricane that's developing out in the Atlantic. It's Lee. You may have seen that. And there's a tricky thing about Lee because Lee has been projected by most computer modeling to recurve, which means it wouldn't be a threat to the East Coast. However, you're starting to see this trend towards more high pressure developing over the Atlantic, and we really need to keep an eye on that because there's a low chance that if there's enough high pressure that develops out there, it could start to steer Lee closer to the East Coast, and then you've got a big problem. So hopefully that doesn't happen. There's a long time between now and then, and a lot can change in the forecast. And so if you're on the East Coast, you want to be mindful of that, over the next few days up into this next week here that's coming up. But we should get a cold shot. Well, cold shot this time of year relative to averages. We'll see maybe some fall-like weather as we get into the later part of next week.
Yeah. This week's going to be hot and humid.
Yes, it is.
And a little bit, and a slight chance of rain, not much.
Yeah.
And it's dry. We need the rain.
Yeah, we do. But now with El Nino coming on, we'll get plenty of it probably this, next few months. So
think so?
I think so.
Yeah.
You get an active southern storm track with El Nino, you probably get a lot of rain from it. So I'd say head into the fall and winter, we'll get plenty of it.
All right.
Yep.
Don't say that. Winter means.
I didn't say snow, but if you want to go that direction, we
No,
can go that direction.
No. We'll take rain. Leave snow out. No snow. Jesse, you know better than come over here and do that. So, by the way, how's the new honey pepper pimento sandwich going?
Oh, it's a blast. It's selling off the shelves. It's a big seller. It's probably one of our best sellers in a while. It's messy, but man, it tastes good. It's really popular. We can do it with the regular filet, or you can do a spicy filet or grilled filet with it. It's really good. It's
what about
selling a lot.
Caramel crumble milkshake?
Also another big hit.
Yeah.
Generally, I don't rave about our milkshakes, but that one I think is exceptionally good.
Yeah. How would you describe it?
Well, it's got the caramel syrup with the vanilla ice cream blended together, and then it's got what's called blondie crumbles. So I guess that's kind of like a cookie add-on to the shake element, a little bit of the crunch. So caramel crumble, it's in the name there, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's got a little bit of a cinnamon pumpkin taste to it. That fair?
Yeah. Well, see, what we had last year in the fall was the autumn spice, and that was more of a cinnamon taste than this is.
Yeah.
But this is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're heading to the coast, going to the beach, folks do this time of year, September and October, so you can help them with the weather forecast over there.
Yep. I'm over there at Carolina Weather Authority with Mike Griffith. We were watching Lee out there. We'll see if that's any impact to the East Coast. If it is, we will certainly let you know, and we will keep you updated.
Say hello to Felicia in Las Vegas. She's watching. Wonder how hot
Felicia.
it is in Vegas today.
My sister lives out in Vegas. Maybe she knows Crystal Payne, but my sister lives out there.
And Mary Beth Tolley listening in Wausau, Wisconsin. So,
wow.
Thank you. Appreciate
Fantastic.
you, kids.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, we love it. So, Storm Tracker Sacker, he works here at Chick-fil-A, but he's a weather buff. He's our official meteorologist. So, hot and dry with occasional pop-up showers over the next couple of days.
That's really about the story of it, yeah. Yep. And then if you fall lovers out there, you pumpkin spice lovers, we may get a little dose of fall later next week.
There you go.
Yep.
And keep an eye on the tropics, in this case the Atlantic, because
that's right.
Lee's a brewing. Is it getting to be a biggie?
Lee's going to – that's the thing about Lee. Lee is going to be a big storm. It's just a matter of whether it hits the East Coast or not. But it's probably going to hit Category 4, Category 5. That's why we don't want it anywhere near the East Coast. That's why they need to keep an eye on the forecast.
Has it been named a hurricane yet, or still tropical storm?
Yeah, it's already Lee. It's already tropical storm at this point. If it's not a hurricane already, it will be probably later today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So keep an eye to the sky and keep it right here. We'll keep you posted. Jesse, the Storm Tracker Sacker. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Quick break. We'll be right back. We are live here. We're at Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Would you please?
Eagle Center Co-op is a great collection of antiques and collectibles, coins, cast iron, vintage furniture, artwork, just about anything that you can think of. And I always say that it's full of things from the past that tell a story when people no longer can. So lots of things to add character and conversation to your home, handmade jewelry, just about anything that you can think of, we've got it.
You have a waiting list. How many vendors right now?
We have close to 50 vendors, and we have a 2-page waiting list for people who would like to become vendors, and hopefully we can work those in somehow. It's exciting.
Hours are open.
We're open 10 to 5, Monday through Saturday.
And social media?
Social media is on Facebook at Eagle Center Co-op, and we're located at 507 East Elk Avenue in downtown Elizabethton. Beautiful downtown.
Beautiful downtown. Be loyal, buy local, and buy it in Betsy at Eagle Center Co-op in downtown Elizabeth. One of our great sponsors here on the Tom Douglas Sports Show and Cyclone Football. Back on the Tom Douglas Sports Show. Before we get out of here, let's run down a couple of more sports stories. First off, if you're a pickleball player, they got a big pickleball tournament coming up. It is the fastest growing sport in America, pickleball. And there's a tournament coming up in Johnson City on the 16th, next Saturday week from 8 till 5. It's affiliated with Girls Incorporated. They're putting on let's call it the Big Deal. Thank you, Jesse. The Big Deal, DILL, the Big Deal Pickleball Tournament. One of the country's fastest growing sports. A blend of tennis, ping pong, and badminton, played with a plastic ball and a solid paddles on a court smaller than a tennis court. And so Johnson City's opened up 12 new pickleball courts. They're everywhere. They got them here in Elizabethton. It'll start at 8 o'clock with mixed doubles playing at the intermediate level, following lunch by Chick-fil-A. Beginners and novices will get an introduction to how to play at a clinic at 1 o'clock. The tournament will conclude with beginners and novices competing in the champions of court. So there's kind of 3 different levels of this tournament, depending on where your talent level is. Prizes for first and second place. If you're interested, go to girlsincjc.com/pickleball. So there you go. Pickleball tournament next Saturday in Johnson City to help out Girls Incorporated, which is a really cool thing. So, Jesse brought me the caramel crumble milkshake. So we'll jump in on that here. Kyle Larson wins Darlington. Kyle Larson will obviously qualify himself to the second round of the playoffs. Stop number 2 is this weekend in Kansas, and stop number 3 in the cutoff race will be next weekend when they come to Bristol. So that will be a big race, to say the least. The Bass Pro Shop NRA night race. The next Friday night will be the Food City 300. And speaking of Food City, they're starting the School Bucks Challenge again. Food City pledging $800,000 in contributions to the upcoming school year. Easy way to earn reward points for every dollar you spend using your Food City value card. You'll receive a point, and that goes towards the schools. And next year, it'll go through May the 7th. It will be checks cut and be divvied up, $800,000. School allocations are based upon the percentage of customer purchases assigned to each school. So you just go to foodcity.com/schoolbucks and get signed up with your value card and the school of your choice. How about this? Since they started this, Food City has awarded over $22 million in much-needed educational equipment and tools to more than 1,000 participating area schools across 5 states. Love it. Thank you, Food City. All you have to do is go to foodcity.com/schoolbucks and get signed up. It starts today, as a matter of fact. So, and Mary Beth, thank you again watching in Wisconsin, and Felicia watching in Las Vegas. Appreciate that. And Teresa Tig watching here in Kingsport. And Carl Wilson's out there working somewhere with the boys. High school football on Friday night. Who's playing where? South Green and Chucky Doak, Battle of Unbeaten's big ball game. West Green will go to Eagleton College and Career Academy. Alcoa, Greenville tomorrow night, big one on Thursday. Happy Valley to Hampton. Dobbins when it goes to Jeff County. That's a big one. Top 2 teams in Region 6A. Tri-Cities Christian at Jellicoe. Cloudland at Johnson County. That's a big one. Westridge, they're all big, depending on the team, but Westridge will be at Lakeway Christian. You have Cosby at Unaka. That's a battle in the region. And Stony Creek and Morristown East will be at William Blunt. Daniel Boone, 2 first-place teams there going at it. Daniel Boone will be at Morristown West. Cumberland Gap at North Green, Volunteer Northview Academy. Unicoi County at Sullivan East, both 2-1, and both it's an out-of-conference game, but a big game nonetheless. And then Morristown East will win Blunt. As we said, our ball game will be the Cyclones against Cherokee in Rogersville. 6:55 airtime, 7:30 kickoff, video and audio, or audio and video. And again, we'll have Eddie Pless helping us with color commentating this week from Cherokee High School. Back to NASCAR, Kyle Larson, your winner of the race in Darlington, the Southern 500. So here's your drivers' points and the placement as they move into the next race, as we said, and that would be at Kansas this weekend. Kyle Larson, William Byron, Tyler Reddick, Chris Busher, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, Kevin Harvick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Michael McDowell, and Ty Gibbs. That's your 16 right now. So the points for NASCAR. What else happening in sports? The Raiders have restructured the contract of Jimmy Garoppolo, in doing so clearing up $17 million in cap money for the Raiders. So they were over $7 million over the salary cap. Move gives them being cap compliant. It should give them some cushion to make any in-season moves that presents themselves as the year rolls along. NFL starts tomorrow night with the Lions in Kansas City to battle the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. That'll be tomorrow night. Opening week of the National Football League. Where's your favorite team playing? My favorite team, the Raiders, will be in Denver to battle the Broncos. Opening things up in the division, which will be a heck of a start to the NFL season. No question. It's going to be a good one. See if we got the NFL. Where might it be? Is it in here today? Is not, but I can get it. So we'll take our final break, come right back here. We're live again at Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton. Big John's closeout's going on right now. Ready, seal, stain, and sealer on sale. $41.99 for a gallon, 5 gallons of $185. If you need to have your driveway sealed for the upcoming cold and winter months, you know the worst thing for a driveway is freezing and thawing. It'll mess it up. So as Ready Seal has a variety of colors to choose from, eliminating lap marks with the ability to apply most any temperature. Also, you can save $30 on your steel handheld blower or the pruning saw, both on sale. Big John's closeouts, East Elk Avenue here in Elizabethton. So appreciate Mike and Travis and all the guys over there. They do a great job, and we salute them and thank them for what they do. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll wrap it up with the NFL schedule. Starts tomorrow night, as we said, the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs open things up with Detroit. We'll run down the entire week of football. Where's the Titans playing? We'll see where your favorite NFL team plays in Week 1 after this from the Duck Crossing on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Antique mall with over 50,000 square feet of merchandise. We have about 52, 53, give or take, vendors with different items. We have a great selection of everything from antique, which is over 100 years, to vintage, which is 25 years, and then we do have a little bit of new things. We concentrate on the vintage and antique items. So you can find just about anything for yourself, for your home, and gifts. We have a lot of people that take gifts for their grandparents. They remembered they had them, and it's with their family.
Hours are open.
We're open Monday through Friday, 11 to 5:30. Saturdays 10 to 6. Open late for the car shows and anytime they have special events in town.
Need Place, one of our great sponsors of Cyclone football, Duck Crossing in downtown Elizabethton, proud sponsor of Elizabethton Cyclone football.
At Carter County Bank, it's our job to help you focus on the happy moments and check off the things on your to-do list to make them happen. We're here along the way so you can pull off the happiest moments in life. Carter County Bank, in the business of happiness.
So I'm Dr. Beth Cannon of Cannon Family Dental. We do a little bit of everything, cosmetic dentistry, general dentistry. We see all ages of patients. I like that patients are comfortable with bringing their family here. With smaller children, they're some of my favorite patients to see. We always try to make that first visit super happy where they get to come in, sit in the chair, see how they get pictures of their teeth and get their teeth brushed with a little silly brush. There's multiple families that have been with me since the beginning, and their kids were, my kids' age, like 7, 8 years old, and now they're grown up driving. They drive to their own appointments and make their own appointments, which is wonderful, and getting to see the kids and grow up with them. It's great to be a part of that. So if any of you are looking for a new dentist, we would love to have you join our family. Definitely give us a call if you'd like to come in.
And back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show here at Chick-fil-A and Elizabeth, getting ready to wrap it up. Hello to David Burns in Cedar Hill, Texas. Hello, sir. All in with the Green Bay Packers. Mary Beth Tolley, she's up here in Wisconsin. She's a cheesehead. All right, let's run them down for you. Again, tomorrow night, Detroit at Kansas City, the defending Super Bowl champs against the Lions, who, everybody thinks will have a pretty good season. We'll see. On Sunday, in no particular order, Arizona will be in Washington, Carolina and Atlanta. You have the Bengals and the Browns squaring off in Cleveland for the bragging rights of Ohio. Houston and Baltimore. Indianapolis will be home against the Jacksonville Jags. The Steelers at home in Pittsburgh and San Francisco. Tampa Bay at Minnesota on Sunday. These are all afternoon games. Tennessee, the Titans will be in New Orleans. Green Bay will be in Chicago, the black and blue division at Soldier Field for a 4:30 kickoff. The Rams at Seattle. The Dolphins will be in L.A. to battle the Chargers. Philadelphia and New England. The game, only one really matters. My boys, the Raiders, will be in Denver to battle the Broncos. Sunday night football, the Cowboys in New York to battle the Giants. Big game to kick it off in the NFC East. Then Monday night football, Buffalo and the Jets will square off in New York. Good ball game there, too. So a lot of good ones. Again, our regional teams, Tennessee at New Orleans and Atlanta. The Falcons will be home against Carolina. Guess that's the two closest teams, wouldn't it? I guess maybe the Bengals. Let's see, Atlanta's, 4 or 5 hours from here? So that would put them, Cincinnati's 4 or 5 hours. Yep, so the Bengals and the Falcons and Carolina, 3 hours away. Charlotte. So Carolina and Atlanta. The Bengals in Cleveland. And the Titans will be in New Orleans. The opening games of the NFL season. Again, it all starts tomorrow night, as we said, with the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, make sure I got my points right. No, that what they sent me was wrong. So here's the top 16 in points. Heading off to Kansas, William Byron's your leader. Then comes Kyle Larson. Of course, Lawson won, so he's already punched his ticket to the next round of the playoffs. Larson, Tyler Reddick, Chris Buescher, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, Kevin Harvick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Michael McDowell, in that order, your top 16 in points in NASCAR. Next stop this weekend, the Hollywood Casinos race in Kansas Speedway. Then week after next, or next weekend, they'll be in Bristol for the Bass Pro Shop NR8 night race next Friday and Saturday. So it's going to be a big weekend of racing here in Bristol next weekend. All right, big thanks to our guests, Doug Fritz, John City Press, Kingsport Times News, George Gwynn, the Container Man, ContainerManTN.com. Check him out. They'll drop it off, you fill it up, and they'll haul it away. It's just that simple. He's a Container Man. Greg Salyer talking Major League Baseball, and Sean Whitten, of course, head football coach of the third-ranked Cyclones, all here today, along with Jesse, the Storm Tracker Sacker. And see, I love, what did David say here? Get my glasses back on. Yes, I love the Bears. There you go. Yep, he loves the Bears, and they got taken on Mary Beth's Packers on Sunday afternoon at Soldier Field in Chicago. So there you go. All right, we're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. We've covered the NFL, college football, high school sports, Major League Baseball. That's what we do every day. If you were tuning in for the first time, appreciate that very, very much. And so we thank you. We thank you for the local folks. We thank you for the out-of-town folks. We just thank you for being out there. I'll give you some numbers tomorrow. It's interesting. I know you don't care about them, but I do because I just do. We're growing by leaps and bounds on YouTube and Facebook, thanks to Carrie Taylor doing the marketing for me now. She's doing a wonderful job. And so we are continuing to grow. Our schedule again tomorrow will be at Rick Walters Horseman Insurance. Rick's the number one. How about this? He's here in Elizabethton. He is the number one horseman agent in the country. Number one in the country. Numero uno. There's about 3,000 horseman agents. He's number one. We'll be at his office tomorrow, broadcasting live. Then Friday at Food City. Food City Friday, kicking off the weekend here in Elizabethton. And then let's see our ball game coverage tomorrow. 5:10 airtime, 5:30 kickoff. T.A. Duggar and Sullivan Heights. T.A. Duggar undefeated, have outscored their opponents 126-6. It's a middle school football team. If you're not familiar with this area, you out-of-town folks, and so they've got 88 kids dressed out for a middle school football team. It's unbelievable. We'll have them tomorrow night. Andrew McKeon will help us call the game. Then you roll into Friday night. Cherokee will go on the road to the third-ranked team in the state, the Elizabethton Cyclones, trying to make it a 4-0 start. We'll go in there at 6:55. Kickoff at 7:30. Eddie Pless, the legendary Eddie Pless, will be with us doing the color commentating, along with London Taylor running the camera. Video and audio from Cherokee High School. And then we'll come back on Monday with JV football. Dobbins Minute comes to town, a 6 o'clock kickoff on Monday. And the Junior Cyclones play on Saturday at Citizens Bank Stadium against some of Cloudland's teams and some of Greenville's teams. Depending on which age group, you got the Mighty Mites, Grass Cutters, and totally blank. Who's the other one? Grass Cutters, Mighty Mites, Junior Pee Wees. So those are your games coming up. So it's a busy weekend here. It's already started with the Cyclone JV team winning in overtime, 34-27. So it's good, very good. We'll take a break. No, we won't. We'll sign it off here. Thanks again for watching the show. Let's wrap it up with the verse of the day. We always dedicate this show to the man who hung on the cross. We unashamedly do that, of course. And verse of the day is Isaiah 40:28-29. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow weary. He will not grow tired. And his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Good way to end it. Isaiah 40:28-29. If you don't have a church home here in the Tri-Cities and you'd like to visit one, may I suggest this one right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
This is Pastor Mark Fowler, and we want to invite you to be with us at Pleasant Beach Baptist Church sometime soon. And we're thankful for what God is doing, and we've had visitors almost every week. We have so many people that God is using His Word to accomplish a work in their life. And we want you to come. Now, I think about our society today, and there's a lot of talk about the negative aspects and generations and what's missing and what we're going to do and how do we face this social issue and how do we face that social issue. And that is always the buzz. And if we're not careful, we talk like God doesn't have an answer. 2 Timothy chapter 3 we looked at the other night together in our church, and it reminds us that yes, in the last days there's going to be some difficult things come, dangerous times, but the antidote is always God's Word. And so what we're trying to do is to provide Bible answers for today's tough questions. And we're building Believers by the Book. So we want your family to come. We're thankful to have a Sunday school hour and a junior church and master clubs and a youth group and all those things going on. But what we're trying to accomplish is to get the Word of God into the hearts and minds of God's people.
So if you don't have a church home, we would ask you to consider to come be a part of our church service. Kids Master Club starts at 7. Bible study starts at 7, Pastor Fowler, so if you don't have a church home, we would encourage you to consider coming to be with us on Watauga Road here in Elizabethton. Man, what a beautiful day. Gorgeous, gorgeous day. All right, we're out of here. We're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. As always, we'll close it out. Show number 1922 on our way to 2000 by simply saying, bloom where you're planted, and win or lose, be a good sport. See you back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching the show from Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton. Show number 1920.